let us see this question here. An AC source which is rated 220 volt, 50 hertz is connected to a resistor. The time taken by the current to change from its maximum value to the RMS value. Now look, let us imagine that, so we can do this question without phasor also and with phasor. With phasor it will become very quick question, so I'll tell you both the methods. So if I do it without phasor, so look, let us say voltage variation is peak voltage which is 220. No, 220 is the RMS value, so peak voltage will be 220 root 2. Okay, because you know that peak is root 2 times RMS. So this is the RMS value. When nothing is mentioned, then we assume RMS. So peak will be 222 root 2 into sine of omega t. Okay, where omega is nothing but 2 pi into f. That means f is 50. So if you see, this will become 100 pi. So omega is 100 pi, right? So this is the voltage. Now, if this is the voltage, so this is a purely resistive circuit. So current will be basically IRMS, which is what, 220 into root 2. Sorry, I peak, not IRMS. I peak will be here. I peak will be 220 peak voltage upon resistor. So this will be the I peak or the maximum current into the sine omega t. The phase of the voltage and the phase of the current will be equal because it's a purely resistive circuit. Okay. Now let us say, so if you see at what time the current will be maximum. So current will be maximum when omega t will be pi by 2. Okay, because like sine theta should be 1. So for maximum current, we can say that sine omega t should be 1. Okay, sine omega t should be 1. So you can say that omega t should be pi by 2. Actually, it will happen at many, like since it's a periodic current, so sine theta will become many times, like not just when omega t is pi by 2. So omega t is pi by 2, then omega t is pi by 2 plus 2 pi, omega t is pi by 2 plus 4 pi. So you will get many multiples. In fact, in one period also, we can say that, like the value of the current will repeat. So idea here is that key. So I'm choosing just one of the values. The smallest possible value will be when omega t is pi by 2. So you can see that t is pi by 2 omega. So at this value, current is maximum. Then when will be the current RMS? Okay, so RMS means that current will be, look, so this is the peak current. So what will be the RMS current? RMS current means peak. Peak is 220 root 2 by R. This is the peak current. Peak divided by root 2 will give you RMS. Okay, so root 2 will get cancelled. So this is the RMS current. So we want current value become equals to RMS. I should be equals to IRMS. This is what we want. That means I will put this value here in this function. Okay, so that means 220 by R should be equals to 220 root 2 by R into sine of omega t. Okay, now this 220 by R will get cancelled. 1 by root 2 is how much? Sine omega t. Okay, so idea here is that 1 by root 2 is how much? So basically omega t should be how much? Omega t should be, we can say, pi by 4 or 3 pi by 4. And again, as I said, many values will we will get. Okay, now look, current should change from maximum to RMS value. That means right now the current was this, or we can say at this time, at time pi by 2 omega, current was maximum. And from now, when the current will become RMS, so look, if you choose this value, then it will be, then time you will get smaller. Time is, if I choose this, so time is pi by 4 omega, which is less than this. But if I choose this, then time is 3 pi by 4 omega. Look, okay. So I will choose this because although you will get the same answer whether you choose this or this, but the idea here is that the question is saying current should go from maximum to RMS. That means this has happened before and then this will happen. Okay, so I'm doing the question properly. Although if you choose this also, then it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any difference. Okay, so you will still get the same answer because the difference of the time will be same. But properly, if you want to do that, so you should choose this time, and then this is T2. This should be your T1. So answer will be T2 minus T1. Okay, so 3 pi by 4 omega minus pi by 2 omega. So this will become how much? Pi by 4 omega. This value will become, and now you can calculate this value. So pi by 4 omega. Omega is how much? 100 pi. So you can see that 1 by 400 seconds. Okay, so if you convert this to milliseconds, so this will become 1000 by 400 millisecond, which means 2.5 millisecond. That means option B is the correct answer for this question. Okay, so this is what you would have done provided you would do it properly without any phasor. But if you want to do it by phasor, then you can do it very fast. Okay, look, I'll do it here because I need some space. So I'll do it here. Look, suppose this is the, we can say, the diagram of the phasor. So you know that any sinusoidal function we can represent by the phasor. Okay, I naught sine omega t, right? So in the SHM this topic is taught. So right now if I say that current is at its peak value, so I can draw its phasor like this. Okay, so I can draw its phasor like this. I naught is the peak value, and now when the current will acquire the RMS value, so that means I can draw its phasor like this. Okay, so this is the RMS value. Look, RMS value is peak upon root 2. So this value is the RMS value, which is I naught by root 2. Okay, so that means if I ask you, from the horizontal position to this position, how much angle it has rotated? Let's say this angle is theta. So you can say that cos theta is I naught by root 2 upon I naught. Okay, I naught by root 2 upon I naught. So cos theta becomes I naught by root 2 upon I naught. That means 1 by root 2. So theta becomes how much? 45 degrees. So how much phasor has rotated? Phasor has rotated by an angle of 45, which is pi by 4. And we know that phasor rotates at a constant angular velocity of omega. So angular velocity into time will give you the angle rotated. So time will be pi by 4 omega. This is exactly the same answer that we got here. If you can see pi by 4 omega. Look, this was the pi by 4 omega. Okay. So this you can write directly using phasors. And now you can put the value of omega and you'll get the same answer. I hope you have understood, guys. All right. So let us see this question. In this, there are three pieces of copper wire whose masses are in the ratio 1 is to 3 is to 5. The lengths are in the ratio 5 is to 3 is to 1. The ratio of the electrical resistance we have to find out. All right. Now look, suppose this is the first piece of the wire. Okay, and so this is the second piece of the wire. Okay, and this is the third piece of the wire. All right. Now if we talk about the masses are in the ratio 1 is to 3 is to 5. That means if this mass is m, then this mass will be 3m and this mass will be 5m. All right. The lengths are in the ratio 5 is to 3 is to 1. That means if this length I call 5L, then this length will be 3L, okay, and this length will be L, right? Now look, let us say here the cross section area is A1, here the cross section area is A2, and here the cross section area is A3. All right. Now since they all are made up of copper, that means their density will be same, because density is the property of material. So if I call density here D, so it will also be D, it will also be D. Moreover, the resistivities will also be same. So if here the resistivity is rho, so here also it will be rho, and here also it will be rho. Okay. Now look, we can write mass as density into volume, right? So mass of the first piece is m, and density of the first piece is d, and volume will be what? Cross sectional area into the length. That means a1 into 5l. Okay, same relation if I make for the second piece, so 3m will be is equals to what? 3m will be is equals to density d into volume a2 into 3l, and for the last wire, 5m is the mass, will be density into volume will be a3 into l. Correct. So if you check out from the first relation, the value of a1 comes out to be m by 5 dl. Okay, m by 5 dl. Similarly, for the from the second relation, we get a2 as 3m by 3 dl. So this will become m by dl. Okay, and for the third, we get a3 as 5m by dl. Okay, so if you see in all the a1, a2, a3, m by dl is present. So if I have to take the ratio of a1 is to a2 is to a3, then the ratio will be 1 by 5 is to 1 is to 5. Okay, 1 by 5 is to 1 is to 5, because m by dl will cancel out. Here 1 by 5 is present, here 1 is present, here 5 is present. Okay, now we know that resistance is the formula of resistance is rho L by A. So R1 will be resistivity into the length, which is 5L upon cross sectional area, which is A1. Okay, so R2, now we can also put the value of A1. So A1, so basically let's call, I mean to say that the ratio of A1 is to A2 is to A3 is 1 by 5 is to 1 is to 5. Okay, so basically we can say, if you look at this ratio, A1 is to A2. Okay, so A1 is to A2 is 1 by 5 is to 1. So if I call about A1 by A2, so that is 1 by 5 is to 1. That means A2 will become 5A1, right? And if you look, A1 is to A3, so A1 is to A3, if I see, so A1 is to A3 is 1 by 5 is to 5. Okay, that means 1 by 5 upon 5, right? So that means the value of A3 will be how much? 25A1. Okay, 25A1, this is the value of A3. So if I come back to R1, R1 is rho into length upon A1. R2 will be what? Rho into length is 3L, if you see, okay, upon A2. Now A2 we know is 5A1. Okay, 5A1. So this is the value of R2. And what is about R3? R3 is rho into length is L upon A3. A3 is 25A1. Okay. Now if I take the ratio of R1 is to R2 is to R3. So look, rho L by A1 is present in all of them. Okay, rho L by A1 is present in all of them. In R1 you have a factor of 5. In R2 you have a factor of 3 by 5. And in R3 we have a factor of 1 by 25. Okay, so answer will be 5 is to 3 by 5 is to 1 by 25. Okay, now if you want to get this in proper numbers, so what you can do, you can multiply this entire ratio by 25. So 25 into 5 will become 125. 25 into 3 by 5 will become 15, and 25 into 1 by 25 will become 1. So answer will be 125 is to 15 is to 1, which is option D, right? In this question, there's a planet in some other solar system, probably an alien, which has double the mass of the Earth, and density equals to the density of the Earth. Okay, if the weight of an object on the Earth is W, then the weight of the same object on the planet will be. So let us say this is our beautiful Earth, whose mass is, let us say, M, and the density is rho. Okay, and let us say this is the alien planet. Okay, whose mass is double the mass of the Earth. That means the mass will be 2m, and density is also rho. Okay, so if I call the radius of the Earth as r, okay, so the radius of this planet will be, let us say, r planet. Okay, or rp. Okay, so basically look, mass we know is density into volume. So for the Earth, if I call, so mass of Earth is m, is equals to density into 4 by 3 pi r cube. Okay, so basically this mass will be 2m, that will be is equals to density, which is rho, into 4 by 3 pi into rp cube, right? So if I take the ratio of second by 1, so 2m by m will become 2. Okay, rho and rho will get cancelled. 4 by 3 pi, 4 by 3 pi will also get cancelled. So you can see that this will become rp upon r whole cube. That means rp becomes 2 to the power 1 by 3 into r. This is the value of radius of planet in terms of radius of the Earth. Now look, we know that value of gravity. How do we write? So gravity is gravitation's constant into the mass upon radius square, right? So this is the gravity of the Earth. Okay, what will be the gravity of the planet? So that will be g into mass of the planet upon radius of the planet square. So rp square, and rp value we already know is how much? That is 2 to the power 1 by 3 square, 2 to the power 1 by 3 r. That means this will become 2 to the power 2 by 3 into r square, which means now 2 upon 2 by 3 is but nothing but 2 to the power 1 by 3. If you see this value, it becomes 2 to the power 1 by 3, and gm by r square becomes the gravity of the Earth. So this is the gravity of the planet. All right. Now, very obviously, suppose there's a mosquito whose mass is m. So what will be the weight of the mosquito on the Earth? So that will be m into g of Earth. So this value will be w. Okay. Now same mosquito, if it flies to the other planet, okay, using some advanced technology, so the weight on the planet will be mass into gravity of the planet. Mass will remain unchanged. So you can see that wp upon w, okay, will be what? Gp upon g. Okay, gravity of planet upon gravity of Earth, and that value we know is 2 to the power 1 by 3. That means weight on this planet will be 2 to the power 1 by 3 into the w. That means option C will be the correct answer for this question. I hope you would have understood. All right. This question is from the topic of KTG. A volume V of an enclosure contains the mixture of three gases: 16 grams of oxygen, 28 grams of nitrogen, and 44 grams of CO2 at absolute temperature T. Consider R as the universal gas constant. We have to find the pressure of mixture. Very easy question. What we will do, we will first find the number of moles of each gas. All right, so if you look, oxygen has a molar mass of 32 grams. Okay, so that means moles of oxygen, let us say n1 will be total mass of oxygen, which is 16 grams, divided by molar mass. That means 0.5 moles of oxygen. All right, for the nitrogen we know that molar mass is 28 itself. Okay, and the total mass is also 28. So 28 upon 28 will become 1. For carbon dioxide, the molar mass is how much? CO2. So basically, that is 44 grams only. So again, the molar mass of carbon dioxide is 44 grams, and the total mass available is also 44. So we can say that the moles of carbon dioxide will be 1. Okay. So if I ask you what is the total moles present in the mixture, so that will be N1 plus N2 plus N3, right? So we can say that that will be 2.5 moles. Okay. N1 plus N2 plus N3 will become 2.5. So if I use PV is equals to nRT for the mixture, so we can say that P will be equals to total moles, which is 2.5 into R into temperature upon volume. So answer will be 2.5 RT by V, which is nothing but 5 by 2 RT by V. I hope you have understood. Very, very easy question. This would have given you very easy 4 marks. All right. This question from the work by energy here, what happens is that there's a porter who lifts a very heavy suitcase of 80 kg, and at the destination he lowers it down by a distance of 80 centimeters with a constant velocity. Okay, we have to find the work done by the porter in lowering the suitcase. So remember, we have to just find the work done while he was lowering down the suitcase. Gravity is 9.8. Now remember, when he is lowering down the suitcase very slowly with the constant velocity, that means the net force on the suitcase must have been 0. Okay, Now, if you ask me what are the forces acting on the suitcase while he's lowering down, so look, mg is the weight of the suitcase, right? But remember, the suitcase is going down at a constant velocity. That means the porter must have been applying an equal force. Okay, this is the force applied by the porter, okay, which is balancing the mg, right? Then only the suitcase can go down at a constant velocity, right? So if I ask you the force applied by the porter, so that is nothing but mg. Okay. Now understand that displacement of the suitcase is happening in the downward direction because he's moving it down. And how much distance this does this suitcase move? So it is zero point 0.8 meters. So we can say that work done by the porter will be force applied by the porter dot displacement of the suitcase. Okay, displacement of the suitcase. So SS means displacement of the suitcase. So remember, this becomes force magnitude into displacement magnitude into cos of 180. Why cos of 180? Because force applied by the porter in the upward direction and displacement is happening in the downward direction, right? So magnitude of the force is mg, displacement of the suitcase is zero point 0.8 meters, and cos 180 we know is -1. Okay. Now mass was given as 80 kg, gravity is 9.8, and this is zero point 0.8 and with a minus sign. So if you do the calculation, this will become -627.2. I hope you would have understood. Very easy question. In this question, there is a particle P which is moving on a circle of radius A with constant angular velocity omega. So basically, the particle P is performing UCM. RP and PQ are perpendiculars on x and y axis respectively. That means from P you are dropping a perpendicular on the x axis and you're calling this value as Q. Okay, and then same thing you are doing on the y axis, and this point we are calling as R. So we have to choose the correct statement, and this angle has been given as omega t. So basically you can say that, let's say particle is performing a UCM like this. So as time will move forward, so basically this omega t will keep on increasing. All right. So now what happens? The x coordinate of the particle at time t is a sin omega t. Now look, this is the x coordinate of the particle, right? OQ. So OQ is the x coordinate of the particle, right? Which is nothing but a. So according to the figure, so this length is a. Look, this length is a because this is the radius of the circle. So clearly OQ will be a cos omega t. Okay, it will be a cos omega t, which makes option A wrong. Okay, then let's also find the value of OR. Okay, so OR is the y coordinate of the particle. Look, OR is the y coordinate of the particle, which will be a sine omega t in this. Okay, because this is equals to OR. PQ is also equals to OR. Okay, and that will be a sine omega t, right? Now option B is the particle has a non-zero displacement in a time interval of 2 pi by omega. This is also wrong because look, particle is performing UCM with angular velocity omega. So if I ask you what is the time period of the rotation, so time period you know is how much? 2 pi upon angular velocity. That means this will become the time period of revolution, okay, of the particle. And this is the same time which has been given in the option B. That means particle, if it starts from here, or let's say from anywhere on the circle, let's say it starts from this point, so it will complete one rotation in the in this much time, in one time period. So basically it will come back to its original position in this amount of time, because this is the time period, and hence the displacement will be zero, which is why option B is wrong. R and Q execute simple harmonic motion. So basically, if you look at R, and if you look at Q, so clearly OQ, which is nothing but the X, is performing simple harmonic motion, because you can see that A cos omega t, this is also a sinusoidal equation. Okay, some of you believe that only sine function represents sinusoidal equation or SHM function. That is not right. Sine and cos both represent sine sinusoidal variation, or you can say SHM functions. In fact, if you remember, you must have been taught a formula in mathematics that sine of 90 plus theta is cos theta, right? That means if you want to go from cos to sine, okay, then what you can do, you can add angle of 90 in the theta. So if you add 90 in this angle, you can move from cos to sine. So look, we have a cos, and if I want to go to the sine, all I will do, I will add 90 in this angle, so that will become 90 plus omega t. Look, so basically we can say that this is the value of I mean, a cos omega t can also be written like this. Okay, so now this is very obvious that this is an SHM function. Okay, if like this is clearly in the format of sine only. Okay, so clearly we can say that OQ, which is the distance x, represents SHM function, sinusoidal variation, and similarly OY, I mean OR. Okay, OR means this distance y is also an SHM function, and the phase difference, if you check, so phase of y or OR basically you can say is omega t, and the phase of OQ is 90 plus omega t. So if you check the phase of this and if you check the phase of this, there is a phase difference of 90 degree, which is what option C is saying, which is why it is absolutely correct. Okay, if the radius of the circle is doubled, then the phase difference between R and Q would also double. This is wrong, because the radius here is A. If you make A as 2A, then only thing that will change will be here we will get 2A, and here also you will get 2A. Phase difference will not be impacted. So I hope you have understood. Option C is the correct answer for this question. All right. See, in this question, it is given that sound wave of wavelength lambda travels towards right horizontally with a speed v. It strikes and reflects from a vertical plane surface, which is also moving towards left at the speed v naught. All right. The number of positive crests striking in a time interval of 3 seconds on the wall. So let us first understand that what is happening over here. Let's say that this is a plane vertical wall. Okay. It is moving towards left at a speed of v naught. Okay. Now the sound wave are there's a sound wave which is traveling towards, wait, right, okay, at a speed of v. Okay, so question is asking that how many positive crests, that means this basically is striking the wall in 3 seconds. Okay, now first of all let me explain something here. We know that sound wave, see, sound wave is a longitudinal wave, so crests and troughs basically does not make any sense. But if you understand what is the essence of the question, on what they are actually trying to ask is that basically the maximum displacement, like crest essentially means the positive maximum displacement. So like if I say that if you draw the graph of the oscillations, basically if you try to represent the sound variation of a particle, the displacement of a particle. Okay, so its displacement, like it will oscillate longitudinally, right, left right left right left right, because it's a sound wave. Okay, so if you try to represent its displacement as a function of time, so basically so if you see, this particle will be performing shm, left right left right, as the sound wave will propagate towards right. So any particle, let's say if I talk about this particle, so this particle will be performing shm left right left right left right. Okay, now you know that whenever a particle performs shm left right left right, and if I draw its displacement time graph, okay, if I draw its displacement time graph, then it will be like sinusoidal graph only. Okay, sinusoidal graph only. So basically the idea here is that they are trying to show you, they're trying to ask you, bhai, how many. So see, displacement time graph can be represented like this only. Okay, displacement time graph can be represented like this only. It doesn't change anything. Okay, we still know that sound wave is a longitudinal wave, so understand like that. Okay, now see, these are the two positive crests, and you know that distance between the two consecutive positive crests is lambda. Okay, now the sound wave is propagating towards the right direction. Now if I stand on this wall, okay, so remember this wall was moving towards left at a speed of v naught. So what will be the velocity of the sound in the frame of wall? That will be velocity of sound minus velocity of wall. Now velocity of sound is positive v, minus velocity of wall is negative v naught. Okay, that means this will become v plus v naught. Hence we can say that for this black man, this sound is actually approaching towards right at a speed of v plus v naught. Okay, v plus v naught. So in total 3 seconds, how much distance the sound wave would have moved? Okay, how much distance sound wave would have moved? So we can say that distance moved by the sound wave in the 3 seconds will be how much? 3 into basically time into speed. Okay, v plus v naught, and time is 3 seconds, so this will become 3 into v plus v naught. All right, so this is the total distance traveled by sound wave. All right, now remember that after traveling lambda distance, after traveling every lambda distance, a positive crest will strike. So for example, suppose this is the crest is just going to strike right now. Let us say this crest strikes at t equals to 0. So again when the lambda distance is traveled, again and the crest will strike, and again when the lambda distance is traveled, again and the crest will strike. So we can say that after every lambda distance the crest is striking. So that means the total number of crests which would have struck the vertical wall is total distance traveled by the sound wave in 3 seconds divided by lambda. Okay, because after lambda, after every lambda, one positive crest will strike. So answer will be option A. I hope you have understood. All right, so here there are 3 point particles, one of the mass 1 kg, 2 kg, 4 kg, and they are placed on a corner of a right angle triangle of sides 4, 3 and 5. You have to find the center of mass. Now guys, you can't expect an easier question, formula based question. We know that position vector of center of mass for a 3 particle system will be m1 r1 vector plus m2 r2 vector plus m3 r3 vector divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3. All right, now if I consider this as the x-axis, okay, and let us say this is the y-axis. All right, so basically you see this first 1 kg particle has a position vector of 0 comma 0, basically 0 I cap 0 j cap. This 2 kg particle will have a position vector of 3 I cap. Okay, and this 4 kg particle will have a position vector of 4 j cap, right? So all you need to do is put this in this formula. Very easy question guys. M1 is 1 kg, but r1 is null vector. Okay, then m2 is what? M2 is 2 kg. Okay, and r2 is how much? R2 is 3 I cap, and just a second, 3 I cap. M3 is what? M3 is 4 kg, and R3 is 4 j cap. Okay, divided by M1 plus M2 plus M3. All right, so this becomes 3 to just 6 I cap plus 16 j cap divided by 7. That means this will be 6 by 7 I cap plus 16 by 7 j cap. Okay, so this is the position vector. That means x coordinate of center of mass will be 6 by 7. All right, and y coordinate of center of mass will be 16 by 7. Okay, so where is the x coordinate? So you can say 6 by 7 centimeter towards right and 16 by centimeter above the 1 kg mass. Okay, that means option A is clearly right. Okay, so that means other options will be wrong. Now, very easy question, guys. I think you would have done this and you would have gotten very easy marks, right? In this question, there is a compound microscope. The focal length of the objective and the eyepiece lenses are 1.2 and 3 point, sorry, 1.2 and 3 centimeter. Object is put 1.25 centimeter away from the objective lens. Final image is formed at infinity. We have to calculate the magnifying power. Now, if you recall the structure of the compound microscope, so here we have a objective lens, okay, and here we have an eyepiece lens, okay. Now, if you remember the, just a second. Oh, I'm not able to draw straight. Yeah. So let's say object is kept somewhere over here. So there is an intermediate image that gets formed somewhere over here, and the final image is formed somewhere over here, which in this question is getting formed at infinity. Okay, so this is the final image. Okay, final image. Okay, and this is the intermediate image. Let us say I1, and this is the object. Okay. Now look, the idea here is that for this eyepiece lens, this is the eyepiece lens, and this is the objective lens. Okay, and this is the object, right? Object, and this is the objective lens. Okay, now see, the idea here is that the eyepiece forms the image of this at this location. Okay, this is I1 acts as the object for the eyepiece. Okay, and in this question, if you understand, the final image is being formed at infinity. So if you look at the eyepiece, for the eyepiece we can say that the this object, which is I1 is serving as the object for the eyepiece. So I1 must have been at the focal length of the eyepiece. Okay, so that means this distance must have been equals to focal length of the eyepiece. Then only this eyepiece will make the image of I1 at the infinity. Okay, and Fe value is given to us as 3 centimeter. Okay, so Fe has been given as 3 centimeter. Fo has been given as 1.2 centimeter. Okay, and object distance is equals to 1.25. Okay, that is the idea. Now look, we have to find the magnifying power. So first I'll tell you the formula of magnifying power of a compound microscope. It is VO by UO into D by FE. Now what does this mean? VO means the image distance made by the objective. Okay, V stands for image and O for objective. So look, I1 is the image of the objective, and I1 was serving as the object for the eyepiece. So objective treats this actual object as the object, and objective makes this image I1. Okay, so VO is the image distance for the objective, UO is the object distance for the objective, D is the least distance of distinct vision, which is 25, and FE is the focal length of the eyepiece. This formula is true when the image is formed at the infinity. Otherwise, the general formula is here you get UE. Okay, this is the general formula, UE. So as I said, UE is the object distance for the eyepiece. So look, I1 is the object for the eyepiece. So as I said, this UE will become FE in this particular situation, which is why I had put UE as FE. Okay, which is why I had put UE as FE for this particular question. I hope you are understanding this. All these things must have been taught to you. Okay, now look, value of D we know is 25. FE is given already. UO is also given. UO is 1.25. Okay, so we have to just calculate VO. Now look, basically this distance is VO. Okay, this is the image of the objective, and we have to calculate this. So what I will do, I will apply the lens formula for the objective. Lens formula is 1 by V minus 1 by U is equals to 1 by F. So V is VO and it is positive VO. Okay, U is minus 1.25. So here you can place minus 1.25, and F is FO, which is 1.2. Right, so from here 1 by VO will be how much? 1.2. This will come on the RHS, so this will be minus 1.25. So this, if you take the LCM, it is 1.25 minus 1.2 upon 1.2 into 1.25, which means the value of VO, if we see, comes out to be 1.2 into 1.25 divided by 0.05. Okay, so now if we take like we can write this as 125 by 5, so this will become 25, and 25 into 1.2 is nothing but 30. So value of VO comes out to be 30, and now you can put everything in the magnification formula. VO is 30, UO is how much? 1.25 into D is 25 upon FE is 3. So 3 into 1, 3 into 10. This you can write as, look, if I multiply this by 100, so this will become 125, and this will become 2500. Okay, so now this 125 into 1 and 125 into 20, 20 into 10 will become 200. So magnifying power will be 200. I hope you have understood. All right. Here, the velocity of the EM wave in a medium is 5 into 10 to the power 7. We have to find the dielectric constant of the medium. Velocity of the light in the air is 3 into 10 to the power 8. Now, look, there are two things that you must understand. That velocity of the light in any medium, any general medium, if I talk about, which is like not air or vacuum basically, so that you can write as 1 upon under root of mu into epsilon. Now, for the velocity of light in the air or vacuum, air and vacuum we treat synonymously, so that will be under root of mu naught into epsilon naught, right? Now, what is mu? Mu is the permeability of this medium. So, for example, suppose this is some medium. So, mu will be the permeability of this medium, absolute permeability, and epsilon is the absolute permittivity of this medium, right? So, look, now you try to recall that mu will be is equals to mu relative into mu naught, okay, and epsilon will be epsilon naught into epsilon r, correct? Now, the idea here is that if nothing is mentioned about the medium, then we treat it as non-magnetic. Basically, if nothing is mentioned, then of course we will treat it as non-magnetic. Otherwise, this question will become insoluble. So this will happen in the JEE Mains exam as well. Remember, so you have to be very smart. I have said this in previous discussions as well, that if do not complicate things in the JEE Mains, that mu r is not given. So how we will solve this question? Please assume the simplistic assumption that if nothing is mentioned and we need that value, so we assume that to be non-negative. Otherwise, you will always face problems in the JEE Mains question. Okay, so mu r will become 1 because we assume the medium to be non-magnetic, and remaining thing is what? Mu naught into epsilon naught and root of epsilon r. Now epsilon r is the relative permittivity, which is also called as dielectric constant, so we can call that as k. So basically epsilon r we can call as k as well. Okay, so basically this becomes root k, and you see this value is nothing but the speed of the light in air. All right, so if you understand the situation, the value of v can be this value c, okay, upon root of k. Okay, now as per this question, root k becomes c by v, which means k is nothing but c square upon v square. Okay, now you can put the value. So c was 3 into 10 to the power 8, so if you square it, it will become 9 into 10 to the power 16 divided by v square is 5 into 10 to the power 7. This is the speed of the light in this medium, so 25 into 10 to the power 14. Okay, this becomes 900 by 25. So 5 into 5, 5 into 180, 5 into 1, and 5 into 36. So 36 will be the dielectric constant. I hope you have understood. Very important piece of learning, that do not overcomplicate things in the JEE Mains exam. All right. This graph shows the variation of magnetic flux through with time through a coil, and we have to choose the statement which is not correct. Now look, we have to choose the incorrect statement. This mistake happens quite a lot, that we end up choosing the correct statement. So we have to choose the wrong statement. Remember this. Now look here, from A to B the flux is continuously increasing. Then from B to C flux decreases. From C to D again flux decreases, and then from D to E flux again starts increasing. Okay. Now look, option A is saying there is a change in the direction as well as magnitude of induced EMF between B and D. So B point is here and D point is here, right? Now if you ask me, EMF is minus d phi by dt. Okay, that means unless and until the sign of d phi by dt changes, the EMF polarity will not change. Okay, so sign of EMF will not change because sign of EMF is impacted by d phi by dt. Okay, now look, from B to C, d phi by dt is negative because flux is decreasing, and from C to D again, d phi by dt is flux is decreasing, so d phi by dt is again negative. Okay, so from B to D we can say that flux is decreasing, which means d phi by dt is negative, and hence sign of EMF will not change. But which is why option A is wrong. Okay, and option A is because it was saying that sign of EMF will change. So which is why option A will wrong. That is why option A is the correct answer. Okay, because option is saying that there's a change in the direction, but of course it is not, direction will not change. Okay, from B to D direction will not change EMF. So I hope you have understood. Let's check BCD as well. The magnitude of induced EMF is maximum between B and C. So look, induced between B and C, the magnitude, look this slope. Okay, slope is very like high here. So d phi by dt is maximum in the BC region. Okay, slope is maximum here, which is why we can say that the magnitude of the EMF will be maximum in the BC region, because slope of the phi t graph, which represents the value of d phi by dt, is highest in the BC region. So this is a correct statement, which is why it is not our answer. There's a change in the direction as well as magnitude of induced EMF between A and C. Look, between A and C, clearly here the slope has a different value and here the slope has a different value. That means the magnitude will change. Okay, magnitude of the EMF induced will change. Okay, also here the slope is positive and here the slope is negative, which means the direction of EMF will also change, which is why this is also correct statement, and hence we can say this is not our answer. The EMF induced at B is 0. Clearly at B the phi has become maximum, flux is maximum. That means d phi by dt will be 0 because flux has achieved its maxima, which is why we can say that EMF induced will be 0 at the point D, which is why option D is also correct. So I hope you have understood. Option A is the wrong statement, which is why it is our answer. All right. So here there is a two partial cylindrical surfaces of length L. Let's call this as capital L for the time being. Okay. So that it becomes visible. And inner radii is R1. So this radii is R1 and the outer radii is R2. It form a capacitor. This angle theta has been given as 2 pi by 3. So this is the center of the cylindrical shells. We have to find the capacitance. Now understand that here we have to assume that field is radial because fringing is not happening. Length of the cylinder is going inside the screen. So this is the length L. So no fringing effectively means that the electric field lines will be radial. So for example, suppose we connect this arrangement with a battery of potential difference V, battery of EMF B. So let's say this is connected with the negative terminal and this B is connected with the positive terminal, such that the potential difference or the EMF of the battery is V. This essentially means that the potential difference between A and B will be V, and some charge Q, let us say, will be given to the positive terminal, that means shell B basically, and the surface A will get an equivalent negative charge Q. Okay. Now this plus Q charge will be uniformly distributed on the inner surface B. Okay, and minus Q will be distributed uniformly on the outer shell A, like this. And fields will be radial. This is how the arrangement will be. Fields will be radial. No fringing means that we have to always assume fields at the radial only. Actually, what will happen at the edges, the field will become like this curved kind of field will happen, but we have to ignore these things. So effectively, you can understand that field will always be radial. Okay, field will be always radial. So remember this point, field will always be radial. Now I'm erasing this to make the figure clean. So I'm erasing all this. So till now, what you should have understood, that fields will be radial. At the surface B, there is a positive charge Q distributed uniformly here. At the surface A, minus Q charge has been distributed here, and potential difference between A and B is V, where B is at the higher potential. Okay. Now what I'll do first thing is that I'll find the electric field at a distance x from the center. Okay, let's say it was at the center. So how will you find the electric field? Very simple. I'll assume this kind of a surface. Look, I'll assume this kind of a surface which is of radius x. Okay, which is of radius x, and look, this kind of a surface basically. Okay, so if I show you this surface, this is the shape of the surface. Okay, so this radius I'm calling x. This is x basically. This thing is x. Okay, now look, if you understand what did I just say, that field will be radial, right? Field will be radial, and field will exist between B to A, like this, like this. Okay, so the flux on this entire closed surface. Now so let me show you this surface again by drawing like this. Okay, so look, from here to here. So I'll talk about that in 1 minute. From here to here, flux will be 0. Why? Because look, area vector is here in like this, and the field, as I said, is radial. So on this much part, flux is 0. Here there is no field, flux is 0. Here no field, 0 flux. No field, 0 flux. Here again, electric field is like this and area vector like this. So E dot dA will be 0. Electric field is perpendicular to area. That means flux will happen only on this part. Okay, on this much part. Okay, and this radius, if you remember, was x. Okay, x. So if you apply flux to find the flux, we can use integral E dot dA. Okay, now area vector and electric field both are radially outward, so this will become E into dA into cos 0, right? So E into dA, what is the value? So integral dA will become area of the area of this surface, right? So what is the area of this surface? So look, this length will be x into theta. If you see, this length is radius into angle subtended, yes or no? And for area, you have to further multiply this by the length going in, which is L. So this is the value of the flux. Now flux we can also write using Gauss's law, remember? So using Gauss's law, the flux within this red surface will be charge upon epsilon naught. Now look, charge on this entire within this red surface is on the shell B, which is Q. Okay, upon epsilon naught, correct? So that means if I equate the value of flux, then E into x theta L becomes Q by epsilon naught. So electric field at distance x comes out to be Q, okay, upon x theta L epsilon naught. Okay, this is the value of the electric field as a function of x. Okay, now once we have found the electric field as a function of x, now what I will do, So remember in the first statement I said that potential difference between A and B is V, where B is at the higher potential. Okay, where B is at the higher potential. Okay, now potential difference we can also find using E dot dr. So if I go from this point to this point, okay, so I'm going from B to A. So remember dV is equals to minus E dot dr. Okay, or we can say E dot dx because this variable I'm calling as x. Okay, so I'm using E dot dx. Okay, so basically this, if I integrate this expression from B to A, so this will become VA minus BB is equals to minus of electric field, which is what, Q upon x theta L epsilon naught into dx. Okay, E dot dx will become E dx cos 0 because electric field is also radially outward and we are also going radially outward. So VA minus BB is minus V, we know that, and this minus Q upon L theta epsilon naught will come outside. Dx by x, so x we have to integrate from R1 to R2. Okay, so this dx by x will become ln of x from R1 to R2. Minus minus will get cancelled. So you can see that Q, so V will be equals to Q upon L. Achha, theta was 2 pi by 3, so that also we can put epsilon naught ln of R2 by R1. So now you see Q by V is called as capacitance. So from here the value of Q by V comes out to be 2L pi epsilon naught upon 3 ln of R2 by R1, which is what option A is. It's a very good question. I hope you would have understood. Thank you. Let's see this question, guys. In this, the uranium-235 undergoes fission. About 0.1% of the original mass is converted to energy. The amount that much go fission per day. Okay, so that nuclear reactor could provide 200 megawatt of electric power. Okay, so question is saying that how much mass of uranium-235 should undergo fission per day. Okay, so that the nuclear reactor can produce 200 megawatt of electric power. Okay, now understand that basically the meaning of 200 megawatt. So look, 200 mega means 10 to the power 6. So this much watt should be the power of reactor. Okay, this much watt should be the power of reactor. That means, how that means the energy produced per second should be this. Okay, watt means joules per second. Yes or no? Watt means joules per second. Okay, so that is the meaning of watt. Okay, that means if I ask you how much energy will be produced per day, so you can say that energy produced per day will be power into time. Okay, that means 200 into 10 to the power 6, this much is the energy produced in 1 second multiplied by number of seconds in one day. So how many seconds in one day? 24 hours into 3600 seconds, right? So that means we need this much of joules of energy to be produced by the reactor in one day, right? Now look, let us say m mass of uranium should be burnt in one day, which is what we have to find. So if m mass of uranium is burnt in one day, then how much energy will be produced? Mc square. But remember, question is also saying that only 0.1% of the mass gets converted to energy. That means if you are using m mass of uranium in one day, okay, so energy that will be produced will be like, it would have been mc square if the entire mass converts to energy. Okay, but what will happen, only 0.1% of m mass will convert to energy. That means mc square energy will not be produced. 0.1% of this value will be produced, I mean 0.1% of this energy will be will be produced. So 0.1% of mc square, this much is the energy that you will actually get, and this should be equals to 200 into 10 to the power 6 into 24 into 3600. Okay, now look, what is the value of c square? So c square we know is c speed of light, which is 3 into 10 to the power 8. So c square will become 9 into 10 to the power 16. Okay, and 0.1% means 0.001. Okay, 0.1% means 0.001. So this is 200 into 10 to the power 6 into 24 into 3600. Now it's just the case of calculation. So look, you can say that this will make it 10 to the power 13, and then 1 2 8 9 10. So this will make it further 10 to the power 3. So this I'm bringing this side, so this becomes 10 to the power minus 3. So m becomes 9 also, you can bring this side. So this becomes 2 into 24 into 36 into 10 to the power minus 3 upon 9. Now 3 into 8, 3 into 3, 3 into 1, 3 into 9, no 3 into 12, sorry. Okay, 12 into 16. So 16 into 12 is 192 into 10 to the power minus 3 kg. That means 0.192 kg. So how much we are getting? this is 0.192. I hope you understand, right? So I hope you have understood. Option C is the correct answer for this question, right? The circuit shown in the figure contains two diodes, each with a forward resistance 50 ohm and infinite backward resistance. Battery voltage is 6 volt. Find the current 200 ohm. So look, let's say this is the diode 1 and this is the diode 2. Now the positive pole of the battery is connected with the N side of diode 2 and P side of diode 1, which means diode 1 is in forward bias and diode 2 is in the reverse bias. Okay, that means this will provide an infinite resistance. Okay, this is in infinite resistance. That means no current. So basically you can see here infinite resistance is there, so no current can flow here. No current can flow here, so you can treat this to be a broken branch. No current can flow here. So effectively your circuit is this. This is your effective circuit. Okay, and this is a forward bias diode, forward biased diode. That means here they have said that it will give you a resistor of 50 ohm. So here you can assume that there is a resistance of 50 ohm placed. So you can replace this diode by a resistor of 50 ohm. Okay, so your effective circuit will look like somewhat this: 50 ohm, this is 150 ohm, the middle branch is broken, okay, and this is 100 ohm. So very easy question. Now you can say that the current flowing in this circuit will be 6 upon 100 plus 50 plus 150, that means 300 ohms total. All right, so this will come out to be how much? 1 by 50 ampere, which is 0.02 ampere. So I hope you would have understood. In this question, from one corner A of the rectangular billiards table, ABCD is placed on a horizontal surface. A ball of mass m and negligible dimension is projected in the direction making an angle theta with the side AB. It strikes in the order of sides BC, AD, DC, and ABC, and then return to the same point. Okay, so basically what happens is that so we have to find the coefficient of restitution. So let us understand this. In fact, let me draw this figure once more in a slightly enlarged format so that we are able to understand what is happening here. So this is a rectangular billiards table. Okay, I hope you have played the billiards game. Okay, it's a very nice game, like somewhat like carom board, but yes, it is played with the balls. So basically, here this length of the rectangular billiards table is A and this length is B. All right. Now notice here what is happening, that we launch a billiards ball from the corner A. Okay. So it first strikes the side BC somewhere over here. Okay. Now look, let us imagine that when the ball was launched, okay, so its x velocity was u cos theta. Remember, I mean to say that let's say it is launched at the speed u, correct, and this angle is theta. So look, let me draw this here because I do not want to clutter this figure. So look, that let's say here the launching speed is u, okay, initial speed. So this angle, as you can see, is theta. So that means the x velocity initially must have been u cos theta. Yes or no? U cos theta is the x velocity, and y velocity must have been u sin theta, right? U sin theta, right? Now look, when the ball strikes, so basically ball will strike somewhere over here. So you know that. Now before I continue with this, let me help you recall one very important result. Suppose this is a ground. Okay, then let us say ball strikes this ground with some velocity v. Okay, with some velocity v. So let us say it rebounds with a certain velocity. Okay, now what happens is that in this situation, if the restitution is E, so what will happen? This component, that means the velocity component perpendicular to the surface, velocity component perpendicular to the surface, that will become E times. Okay, so like for example, suppose here the initial y velocity was uy, look, or let me call this value as u. Okay, so initial y velocity was uy, that means ball was approaching the surface with the uy, so it will rebound. Okay, like although the ball is going in this direction, but its y component Vy will be E times Uy. It's a very important result. So again, basically it is just using the restitution equation. If you look, velocity of approach was Uy, although ball is coming like this, but this velocity does not participate in, you can say, approach. Only this velocity participates in approach. Okay, similarly when the ball is rebounding at this in this direction, so this component does not participate in separation, only this component participates in separation. Okay, so velocity of separation you can see is Vy. Okay, velocity was of approach was Uy, that will be restitution. So that is why you get Vy is equals to Euy. Very important result. All right, so look, as I said here, key, now here if the ball is approaching, so here the surface is like this. Look, here the surface is like this. All right, so this surface is like this, so we can say that when the ball will approach at the u cos theta, because x velocity is u cos theta, remember, so ball will rebound at E times u cos theta. That means this left velocity, left side velocity will be eu cos theta, and y velocity will not get changed here. Y velocity will remain as it is because there is no force acting in the y direction. Like here also, if I talk about, so velocity parallel to the surface does not get changed. Velocity parallel to the surface does not get changed. Only the perpendicular component becomes e times. Perpendicular component becomes e times. That is a very critical concept you must remember. Okay, so if you look at the first collision at the point P1, so what will happen? This velocity, which is u cos theta, will become e times u cos theta. So ball will come back. I mean to say that ball was coming here at u cos theta. Okay, so it will rebound at eu cos theta. That means this type of velocity will be eu cos theta. Okay, and this velocity will not get changed. It will remain u sin theta. Okay, it will remain u sin theta. Then again the collision happens at the point P2. Look, again the surface is like this. So again the x velocity will become e times. Now look here, let me change the color. So here the x velocity was eu cos theta. Okay, so when the ball rebounds again here, so here the x velocity will become again e times. So it will become e square u cos theta. Okay, and y velocity will remain u sin theta. Y velocity will not change. Okay, it will remain u sin theta. Okay, now what happens is that the collision happens at the point P3. Collision happens at the point P3. So look, now what happens here, the surface has become parallel to the you can say the x-axis. So now the y velocity will become e times. So y velocity was u sin theta. So y velocity will become e times u sin theta. So you can see that here the y velocity will become e times u sin theta, and x velocity will not get changed. X velocity will remain e square u cos theta. X velocity will remain e square u cos theta. Okay, and this is the last collision P4. Again at this collision, let me change the color. Again at this collision, what happens? The surfaces you can see along the y-axis. So x velocity will again get changed, and x velocity will become e times of this. That means e cube u cos theta. Okay, so x velocity and finally the ball reaches this point A. So while this happens, you can say in this situation the x velocity becomes e cube u cos theta. Okay, let me write here e cube u cos theta, and y velocity will not get changed. Y velocity will remain eu sin theta. Okay, y velocity will remain eu sin theta after P4 also. Okay, so y velocity will remain eu sin theta. Okay, so basically now listen to me very carefully. Okay, just look at the x-axis. What happens at the x-axis? Okay, ignore the y-axis. So x-axis may, like from A to P1, from A to P1, if you look, so this displacement happens which is of length A. Okay, and this displacement happens at u cos theta. So what will be the time taken? A by u cos theta. This is the time from A to P1. Okay, then from P1 to P2, if you look, so ball comes back along the x-axis and again travels A. Okay, at what speed? Eu cos theta. So what will be the time? A upon Eu cos theta, right? Then what is the time from P2 to P1, P2 to P3? So P2 to P3, this is the x displacement, and then P3 to P4. So I'm writing the time directly from P2 to P4. So P2 to P3 plus P3 to P4. So direct this time total. So along the x-axis, if you look along the x-axis, again the displacement is a along the x-axis. Okay, and velocity along the x-axis is entirely e square u cos theta plus e square u cos theta. That means totally the velocity, I mean plus will not be there, but x velocity will be e square u cos theta throughout this motion. So if you observe from P2 to P4, velocity in the x is constant, and that is e square u cos theta. So you can say that this displacement is a divided by e square u cos theta. Okay, e square u cos theta, that is the, so x displacement upon x velocity. So this is the time from P2 to P4, and again from P4 to wapas point A, P4 from back to point A. So again you can see along the x-axis the displacement will be a. Okay, so a upon x velocity, which has become e cube u cos theta now. Okay, so if you understand, this is the total journey time of entire motion from A to P1 to P2 to P3 to P4 to back to A. This is the total journey time. Now this time we can write along the y-axis also. I mean this same time we can write using the y-axis. So look, in the y-axis, ball goes up and down like A to P1, that means this is the y motion. P1 to P2, that means this is the y motion. P2 to P3, that means this is the y motion. Then that means it has reached up. And now from P3 to P4, that means this is the y motion. P4 to A, so that means this is the y motion. So if you look at the y-axis, it just goes up and comes back. All right. Now look, while it is going up, it is moving a distance of b, like, and the y velocity always remains u sin theta. Look, so while it was going from A to P1, its y velocity was u sin theta. Okay, from P1 to P2, y velocity did not change. Remember, only x velocity changed. That means it will remain u sin theta. From P2 to P3, again y velocity did not change. See, it is u sin theta only. So we can say that key from A to P3, y velocity remains u sin theta. So displacement in the y-axis is how much? B upon u sin theta. right? Then from P3, what happens in the at the collision at P3, the y velocity becomes eu sin theta. The velocity in the y changes, it becomes eu sin theta. That means we can say that in the y-axis motion reverses, the velocity becomes eu sin theta. And again from here to here, velocity is eu sin theta in the y-axis, and from here to here again it is eu sin theta. You can see that. So while coming back, the velocity in the y-axis remains eu sin theta. So you can see that the total displacement v upon eu sin theta. So this is the equation that we will get. Once if you were able to understand this, then we can say that after this physics is over, it's now simple math. So you can see that u u u u u u. Okay, if I take a cos theta common here, okay, so you can see that it will become 1 plus 1 by e. Look, okay, and if I take a cos theta by e square common here, a cos theta by e square common here, so this will become 1 plus 1 by e again. Okay, here you can take b sin theta common, b by sin theta common, so this will become 1 plus 1 by e, right? Now you can see that 1 plus 1 by e totally will be gone. That means a by cos theta, again you can take common, so this will become 1 plus 1 by e square, that will be b by sin theta. All right, now we have to find the value of e. So cos theta you can bring this side, a you can bring this side, so 1 plus 1 by e square will be b by a cos theta by sin theta, which means that 1 by e square will be b by a cos theta by sin theta minus 1. Okay, so 1 by e square becomes b cos theta minus a sin theta upon a sin theta. Okay, so e becomes under root of a sin theta upon b cos theta minus a sin theta. So option A is perfect. All right, let's see this question, guys. This is a very easy question. A block of mass m slides down along the surface of a bowl from the rim to the bottom as shown, and we have to find the speed at the bottom. Now this is a like so easy, it's like funny. So all you have to do is that the block has been released from this position, okay, and we have to find the speed. Here you can just conserve the energy, there is no dissipative force. So you can say that potential energy at this initial position is mg into r. With respect to the final position, the initial potential energy is mgr because the height is r, and that will be equal to the kinetic energy at the bottom position. So you can write this as half mv square. So here m and m will get cancelled and v is equal to root 2 gr. So option C will be the correct answer for this question. That's it. Let's see this question, guys. Here there are two spheres A and B having radii 3 centimeter and 5 centimeter, and they are coated with the carbon black on their outer surfaces. The wavelengths of the maximum intensity of emission of radiation are 300 and 500 nanometer. The respective power radiated by them are in the ratio of. So look, this is sphere A, okay, and this is sphere B, okay. So sphere A has a radius of 3 centimeter. So RA is equals to 3 centimeter, okay, and RB is equals to 5 centimeter. All right, now what happens is that they have been coated by a black surface outside. That means it will behave like a black body, and they have given you one information that the maximum intensity for the sphere A corresponds to 300 nanometer and maximum intensity for the sphere B corresponds to 500 nanometer. So basically, using Wayne's law, if you remember, we know that lambda m into T is constant. Okay, so that means we can say that the maximum intensity corresponds to 300 nanometer for the sphere A. So lambda m will be 300 nanometer multiplied by temperature of A. Okay, that should be equals to lambda m for the sphere B is 500 nanometer into temperature of B. Okay, so from here we can see that 3 times temperature of A is equals to 5 times temperature of B. All right, now look, if we have to find the power radiated by the A, so using Stephen's law, we can say that power radiated will be EA sigma temperature to the power 4. Okay, so emissivity will be 1 since it is a black body. Surface area of the outer surface will be 4 pi into radius of A square into Stephen's constant into temperature of A to the power 4. Similarly, if you have to write the power radiated by the body B, so we can say that that will be equals to EA sigma, same formula, EA sigma T to the power 4. Emissivity is again 1. Area of the body B is 4 pi into RB square into sigma into temperature B to the power 4. Okay. Now we have to find the ratio of the power, that means power of A upon power of B. Okay. So if we do the power of A upon power of B, so look, 4 pi will get cancelled. Sigma will also get killed. RA upon RB square. So here you will get RA upon RB square into Ta by Tb to the power 4. Okay, Ta by Tb to the power 4. Okay, now look, Ra is how much? 3 centimeter and Rb is 5. So this will become 3 by 5 square. Ta by Tb you can see is 5 by 3. So here you will get 5 by 3 to the power 4. So effectively you can see that this will cancel the two powers. So that means we will be left with 5 by 3 square. Okay, so option C will be the correct. Let us see this question, guys. In this, the PT graph of an ideal gas has been given. Density of the gas in the state A is rho A. Then we have to find the density in the state B. Now look, let us say that here the at the state B the volume is V. So that means at the state B pressure is P, volume is V, temperature is T. Okay. So look, basically we can say that PV is equals to nRT. This I have written for the state B. Okay. For the state A, what will I do? Let us say here the volume is VA. Okay. So at the state A, what will I write? Pressure is 2P. Okay. Pressure is 2P. Volume is VA. Okay. So volume will be VA is equals to nR. Moles will not change because mole remain conserved. Okay. Into temperature 3T. All right. Now look, the idea here is that basically if I divide the equation 2 by equation 1, so look, this is 2p into Va is equals to nr3t, and this is p into V is equals to nrt. N gets cancelled, rr gets cancelled, tt gets cancelled, pp gets cancelled. So this becomes 2Va upon V is equals to 3. That means Va becomes 3V by 2, right? Now we can say that density is inversely proportional to volume, because density we can say is mass upon volume. Mass will stay constant, mass will not change from state A to state B. So we can say that density of A upon density of B will be volume of B upon volume of A, because density is inversely proportional to volume, because mass will not change, mass of the gas will stay constant. So now if in the state A density was rho A, so rho B value will be how much? Basically rho A. Now look, this V by VA is how much? So V by VA from here you can see is 2 by 3. So V by VA is 2 by 3. So from this V by VA is 2 by 3. So rho B will be, so if you look at this and if you look at this, so rho B will be 3 rho A by 2. Okay, 3 rho A by 2. That means option B will be the correct one. All right. In this question, guys, there is a vessel which contains oil also and mercury also. A homogeneous sphere floats with half of its volume immersed in mercury and other half in the oil. We have to find the density of the material of the sphere. Now look, imagine that this is the container. Okay, so clearly mercury will float at the bottom because it's a heavier liquid. Okay, and let us say there is an oil which floats at the top. Okay, so this is the situation. All right, now there is a sphere. Now it remains in equilibrium with this kind of scenario. So one half of the sphere is in mercury and the remaining half of the sphere is in oil. Okay, so we have to find the density of the sphere. So let us say the total volume of the sphere is V. Okay, total volume of the sphere is V, and density of the sphere is rho sphere. Density of the sphere is rho sphere. So this will be the mass of the sphere. Yes or no? Volume into density becomes the mass of the sphere, into gravity becomes the mg of the sphere, right? Now this mg of the sphere will be balanced by buoyancy due to the oil plus buoyancy due to the mercury. Okay. So what is the buoyancy due to the oil? So buoyancy due to the oil will be volume submerged in the oil, which is V by 2, into density of the oil, which is rho oil, into gravity. This is the buoyancy due to the oil, plus buoyancy due to the mercury will be volume submerged in the mercury, which is V by 2, into density of the mercury, which is rho m, into gravity. Okay. So we can say that equilibrium condition means the net force upward, which is buoyancy, will balance the mg. Now look, V, 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 G, G, G. That means rho sphere will be rho oil plus rho mercury over 2. Okay. So rho oil is how much? 0.8 in gram per centimeter cube, and rho mercury is 13.6. Okay. So this becomes 14.4 by 2. That means 7.2 gram per centimeter cube. All right. In this question, there is a steel rod of cross-sectional area 1 meter square is acted upon by the forces as you can see. So here we have 60 kilonewton force, 10 kilonewton force, 20 and 50. Notice, and we have to find the elongation, by the way. Young's modulus is also given to you. Notice one important fact here is that the net force is still 0. Why? Because the leftward force is 60 plus 10, 70 kilonewton, which will be balanced by 50 plus 20, 70 kilonewton. So net force is 0, which means the entire rod will not move. All right. Now let us remember Newton's laws. So imagine the AB section of the rod. Okay, so let's talk about this interface which is at a distance of x from the end A. Okay, so I'm talking about this length x. Now look, if you look at this much section, so will this is this section moving? No, not moving. So that means, so I'm showing you that section here. So if this is A, okay, and this was acted upon by the force 60, remember? So let us say here at this junction the force F is being applied by the remaining portion. That means this portion will be applying some force which you call tension in the string basically. So you can see that this force will be equals to 60. Why? Because the net, I mean, this portion is not moving, remember. So what do you understand from this discussion? That as long as x is in this region, the force value will remain 60. So whether you talk about this intersection, this intersection, this intersection, at every intersection the value of the force will be 60. I hope you were able to understand this. Okay, that means at every cross section the stress will be what? This 60 upon the cross sectional area. Okay, so if I talk about the AB section, okay, in the AB section, for the AB section I'm talking about, okay, the stress will be what? 60 kilonewton. 60 kilonewton upon cross sectional area is 1. This will be stress. That will be Young's modulus into delta L1, which is the elongation in the AB section upon the length, right? So you can see that delta L1 becomes 1.5 into 60,000, okay, upon Young's modulus. Okay, that means this becomes how much? 1.5 into 6 is 9. That means 90,000 upon Young's modulus. This is the value of delta L1. Now let us talk about BC section. Now let me choose again a certain cross section which is at a distance of x basically from the B. Okay, so somewhere over here. Okay, so let's say I'm talking about this distance. All right, this cross section I'm talking about. So look, again, if you see same logic, apply the same logic. If I talk about this much length, okay, this much section overall this thing. Okay, if you understand this much thing. Okay, so is this moving? No, this is not moving. That, so I'm showing you this part over here. Okay, so this was your A, this was your B, and I'm talking about a general cross section. Okay, so here 60 force was acting and somewhere over here 10 force is acting. So if you want this whole thing not to move, that means this force must have been how much? 70, and this will be applied by remaining cross section, I mean remaining this body basically, so basically at this point, this thing is being pulled towards right at a force of 70. Okay, so again same thing, that means whether you take this section, this section, this section, this section, doesn't matter. In the entire BC region the force is 70. Okay, so if you understand this point, that means we can say कि भाई in the BC region, okay, if I talk about the BC region, so the uh, stress for the BC region can be written as 70,000 upon cross sectional area. Okay, and that will be equals to Young's modulus into delta L2 upon L. L is 1. Okay, so delta L2 will become what? 70,000 upon Young's modulus. Okay, here also it was Young's modulus. Now if I talk about CD region, so look, in the CD region again you can say that, let's say this is some general cross section at a distance x. So again same logic, this part of the rod is not moving. So look, if you want this part not to move, so this, let's say this is the force F. So look, 60 plus 10, 70 is acting left. Okay, on this section I'm talking about, entire this thing. Okay, 70 is acting left, but 20 is also acting right. So F plus 20 should balance 10 plus 60. Yes or no? F plus 20 should balance 10 plus 60. That means F should be 50. I hope you were able to understand. Now this logic will be true for any cross section as long as we are in the CD region. Here, 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 here. So that means in the entire CD region, the force value is how much? 50 kilonewton. So for the CD region, what you can say? The stress will be 50 kilonewton. That means 50,000 upon cross section area. This is the stress that will be equal to Young's modulus into delta L3, which is the elongation in this region, upon the length. Okay. So that means the value of delta L3 will be what? Delta L3 will be 1 lakh upon y. Okay, and we were required to find the total elongation. That means it will be delta L1 plus delta L2 plus delta L3, right? So what is the value of delta L1? It is 90,000 upon y plus delta L2 70,000 upon y plus delta L3 is 1 lakh upon y. Y is 2 into 10 to the power 11. Okay, so 9 plus 7 16 and plus 10, so 26 and 4 zeros upon 2 into 10 to the power 11. That means 1,30,000 upon 10 to the power 11. So this becomes how much? 1.3 into 10 to the power into 1 2 3 4 5. So minus 6. 1.3 into so option A is correct. It is 13.4 answer. That is also the same thing. I hope you were able to understand. So in this question, there is a paraxial beam of light having diameter 4 mm, which is incident on a convex lens having the focal length 10. Screen is placed normal to the beam at a distance of 40. On the other side, radius of the image formed on the screen. So let us understand, imagine that this is a convex lens and here we have got some screen. Okay. Okay. Now what happens is that key paraxial parallel beam means parallel itself. Okay, they are coming, it is coming, okay, to the axis, along the axis of the convex lens. And you should remember that whenever a parallel ray strikes the any lens, then it will converge at the focus. Okay, converge at the focus. That means this beam will converge at the focus. Okay, this like this. Okay, now image will be formed at focus definitely, but look, light will not stop here. Light ray will continue moving forward. Okay, so light will continue in the same direction, light will continue moving forward. This you have to understand. Okay, and similarly this will also continue moving forward. Okay, now what happens here, a spot will be formed on the screen. Okay, so this will be the radius of this spot. All right, so we have to find the radius only. Now look, it's a very easy question. You should recall that whenever a parallel set of rays strikes a lens, then it converges at the focus, and this was given as 10 centimeter. Total distance is 40 between the lens and the screen, which means this distance will be 30. Now this is the radius of the beam. Look, this is the radius of the beam, which is 2 mm, because diameter is 4 mm, so this is 2 millimeter, and this r we have to find. If you call this angle as theta, so this angle will also be theta, vertically opposite angle. In this triangle, if you see, so tan theta is 2 millimeter upon 10 centimeter. 2 millimeter upon 10 centimeter. And in this triangle, if you see, so tan theta will be r millimeter upon 30 centimeter. Okay. Now gone mm cancelled, centi cancelled, 0 0 cancelled, r is equals to 6. So answer will be 6 millimeter. All right. In this question, there are 27 similar drops of mercury, each maintained at 10 volt. All these spherical drops combine into a single big drop, and we have to compare the potential energy of the bigger drop to the smaller drop. Okay. Now look, this is a, let's say this is one of the small drops of the mercury, which is r. Okay, which is have a radius r. Okay. Now since it has some potential also, that means it must be having some charge q. Now how many drops we have? So we have 27 such drops. Okay, 27 such drops. Okay. Now look, if I ask you energy of the one drop, so remember they here, that means the self energy. Okay, if you remember the self energy of a solid sphere, so self energy of a solid sphere, if you remember, is 3 by 5 kq square by r. This is the formula of self energy. Okay, which is also, it is nothing but the potential energy only, but since it is for the sphere itself, so it is called as self energy. So this is the self energy of this one drop. Okay, now what happens, all these drops combine to form a one big drop. Let us say this big drop is of radius r. Naturally, the total charge here will be 27q, because q plus q plus q, so 27 drops have combined, so total charge will remain conserved, which means this will have 27q charge, bigger drop. Also using the volume conservation, basically the total volume of the mercury will stay constant. So volume of the one drop, which is 4 by 3 pi r cube multiplied by 27, that is the total volume of the mercury, will be 4 by 3 into pi capital R cube, which is the volume of the one big drop. Now 4 by 3 pi, 4 by 3 pi will be gone. If you cube root this equation, so R cube will become R, 27 will become 3, and capital R cube will become capital R. That means the radius of the bigger drop is 3 times the smaller drop. Now if I have to find the self energy of the bigger drop, so formula will be same, 3 by 5 into k into total charge square, which is 27q. So you have to square 27q, divide by radius of the bigger drop, which is capital R, and whose value is 3r. Okay, so this is what we are going to write. Now if you see, if I do the ratio u2 by u1, so look, if I do u2 by u1, so this 3 by 5, 3 by 5 will get cancelled, k will get cancelled, q square will get cancelled. Okay, r and r will get cancelled. So only thing that will be left will be 27 into 27 upon 3. So 3 into 9, and 27 9 is 243. That means this value will be 243. In this question, there is circular disc which reaches from the top to bottom on an inclined plane of length L. When it slips down the plane without friction, it takes time t1. When it purely rolls down the plane in the presence of friction on the similar plane, it takes T2. The value of T2 by T1 is root 3 by x. The value of x will be. So what is happening? Let's say this is an inclined plane. Okay. And right now it is frictionless. So there's a circular disc. Now, if it's a frictionless, then you can say that rolling will not happen. Only translation will happen, because the torque about center of mass will be zero, because friction is not there. Mg passes through center, normal passes through center. That means the torque of there is no torque about center of mass, which means alpha will be zero. There is no rotation possible, which means body will simply translate. And you can see that the force along the inclined plane, is mg sine theta. This is the only force, right? Which means acceleration will be force upon mass. That means g sine theta. All right. So if this is L is the length of the inclined plane, okay, so in how much time it will reach? So basically we can say that L will be is equals to half into acceleration into t1 square. Okay, so t1 becomes 2L by a under root. Okay, that means, and a is g sine theta, so this will be 2L by g sine theta. This will be the value of the acceleration. Okay, so time will be under root of 12 by g sine theta. Now we have a similar plane. Okay, but in this situation what happens? We have friction also. That means pure rolling will happen. Friction is sufficient. So question says that it purely rolls down. So friction is sufficient. Okay, that means now in this case you might recall that the what is the value of acceleration? It's a standard z. So value of acceleration is a2 is equals to g sine theta upon 1 plus moment of inertia about center of mass upon mr square. This is a standard result. You might recall this. So basically you can say that this becomes g sine theta upon, for a disk, moment of inertia about center of mass is half mr square. So this value will be half mr square. That means half mr square upon mr square will become half. Okay. So that means this value will become how much? 2g sine theta by 3. Okay. So look, we can say that now the center of mass is having this acceleration a2. So the displacement of center of mass was L. So again you can see L will be equals to half into a2 into t2 square. All right. So t2 will be is equals to under root of 2L by a2, which means under root of just a second, 2L upon a2 means what? 2g sine theta by 3. Okay. So we get 3L by g sine theta under root. This is the value of t2, and we have to take the ratio of t2 to t1. So if you take the ratio of t2 to t1, so you can see that L by g sine theta will get cancelled. Root of 3 by 2 will be left. Okay, so which means that I'll write here under root t2, no, not under root, t2 by t1 will be, if you do, so L by g sine theta will get cancelled. We will get under root of 3 by 2. That means this x becomes 2. I hope you have understood. All right. Let us see this question. Two streams of photons possessing energies equals to twice and 10 times the work function of metal are incident on the metal surface successively. The value of the ratio of the maximum velocities of the photoelectrons emitted in the two respective cases is x is to 3. The value of x is very easy question, guys. Imagine that this is the some metal surface which has a work function of phi. Now there are two stream of photons possessing energies equals to twice and 10 times. So let us say the first stream of photon is having the energy of photon as 2 phi. Okay, so in this case the electrons that will be emitted, so they will have a, let us say the maximum kinetic energy is k1. Okay, so using the Einstein's equation we can say that energy of the photon, which is 2 phi, is equals to work function plus k max. Correct, this is the Einstein's equation. Now let us say here the maximum speed is v1. Maximum speed is v1. So 2 phi minus phi will become half into mass of electron into v1 square, which means phi will be half mv1 square. Correct. Now what happens? For the second stream of the photon, the energy of the incoming photon was 10 times work function. That means 10 phi. So here the electrons that will be emitted, let us say they have a maximum kinetic energy of k2 and correspondingly maximum speed of v2. Now we can say that using the Einstein's equation, energy of the incoming photon, which is 10 phi, will be work function phi plus maximum kinetic energy. All right, 10 phi minus phi is 9 phi. K2 is half mv2 square. All right, now we have to find the ratio of v1 to v2. So if I divide the first equation by second equation, so we will get phi upon 9 phi, which is 1 by 9. Okay, phi upon 9 phi is 1 by 9. Half m will be cancelled. So v1 square, this will be v1 square upon v2 square. That means v1 by v2 will be 1 by 3. Okay, v1 by v2 will be 1 by 3. Hence this value of x will turn out to be 1. All right. In this question, there's a parallel plate capacitor setup with a plate area of 2 meter square and the separation between the plate is 1 meter. So this distance is 1 meter. The space between the plates is filled with dielectric of thickness 0.5 and meter area is 2 meter square. Okay. So basically the area of the dielectric is equal to the area of the plate, but the thickness of the dielectric is half of the total thickness between the capacitor plates. So we have to find the equivalent capacitance. Dielectric constant is 3.2. Now see, very familiar case. I think all of you know this. So we will treat this as a capacitor of C1. I mean dielectric capacitor as a capacitor of C1 and this as a C2. So C1 will be what? C1 will be K epsilon naught into area of the dielectric, which is A, K epsilon naught A by thickness of the dielectric, which is D by 2. Right? This will behave as one capacitor. Okay, and C2 is a vacuum capacitor, so K will be 1 basically, epsilon naught into area of this C2 is again A upon thickness is D by 2. Okay, so C1 and C2 we know is in series, so C equivalent will be C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2. All right, so that means K epsilon naught into A. So this 2 you can take up, this 2 you can take up. So basically this you can write as 2K epsilon naught A by D, and this you can write as 2 epsilon naught A by D. Okay, so C1 will be 2K epsilon naught A by D into C2 is 2 epsilon naught A by D divided by C1 plus C2, that means 2K epsilon naught A by D plus 2 epsilon naught A by D. Okay, now from here we can say that epsilon naught A by D, epsilon naught A by D, epsilon naught A by D, 2, 2, 2. So in the numerator we are left with the 2K epsilon naught A by D, and in the denominator we have K plus 1. Right, now we can put the values. So look, K is 3.2. Okay, then epsilon naught is like we have to answer in terms of epsilon naught itself, so we can keep it as it is. Area of the plate was 2 meter square. D is 1 mm, 1 meter, sorry, not 1 mm, 1 meter, and K plus 1 will become 4.2. Okay, so this is what we will get. Now look, 2 to the 4 into 3.2, so this will become 4 to the 8, 4 to the 12 upon 4.2 epsilon naught. So this basically becomes 128 upon 42. Now you know that 42 into 3 is 126, so this will be very very close to 3. Okay, so we have to anyway round off to nearest integer, so 126 by 42 is 3 only, so 128 by 42 will be almost 3 only, so answer will be 3 epsilon naught. All right.
इस क्वेश्चन में ईथर का एचआई के साथ रिएक्शन है, यानी इट इज ए क्लीवेज ऑफ ईथर यूजिंग एचआई। आपको पता है कि जब एचआई के साथ ईथर को क्लीव करते हैं, पहला स्टेप आपका एच प्लस का अटैक है, प्रोटोनेशन एट ऑक्सीजन, और इससे हमें प्रोटोनेटेड ईथर मिलेगा। उसके बाद यहाँ पे SN1 या SN2 दोनों रिएक्शन खोल सकती है, लेकिन SN1 तब होती है जब वन ऑफ द आर ग्रुप इज सच दैट हाईली स्टेबल कार्बोकेटायन लाइक टर्शरी हो गया, बेंजाइलिक हो गया, इस टाइप का कार्बोकेटायन बने, तभी SN1 रूट के थ्रू जाता है। यानी इसमें यहाँ पे दोनों आर में से कोई भी हाईली स्टेबल कार्बोनियम नहीं बनाता है, तो ये SN2 अटैक होगा, और SN2 अटैक में I माइनस उस एल्काइल ग्रुप पे अटैक करेगा जहां स्टेरिक फैक्टर कम लगेगा, क्राउडिंग कम होगी, यानी साइज छोटा होगा। दैट मींस एक तो आपका मिथाइल आयोडाइड बनेगा और दूसरा आपका ये सेकेंडरी अल्कोहल बन जाएगा। ऑलराइट, सो लेट्स चेक बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन। ऑलराइट, a certain compound has molecular formula X4O6. 10 mu of this compound contains 6.06 mu of X, atomic mass of X. अगर मैं atomic mass of X को कुछ A मान लेता हूं, तो इसका molecular mass हो गया 4A plus 96, राइट। अब अगर मैं 4A plus 96 ग्राम लेता हूं X4O6 का, तो मुझे इसमें से X का कंपोनेंट कितना मिलता है, 4A। तो अगर मैं 10 लेता हूं 10 AMU, तो मुझे मिलेगा 4A इंटू 10 डिवाइडेड बाई 4A प्लस 96, और ये क्वांटिटी दी हुई है 6.06। यहां से जब आप A कैलकुलेट करोगे, इट कम्स आउट टू बी 37 एटॉमिक मास यूनिट। ऑलराइट, दैट मींस एटॉमिक मास ऑफ X इज 37. B is going to be the right answer of this question. ऑलराइट, Which of the following does not correctly represent the correct order of property indicated against? इनमें से कौन सा प्रॉपर्टी करेक्टली रिप्रेजेंट नहीं कर रही है? देखो, ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट, नंबर ऑफ ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट की बात करें तो टाइटेनियम एक्चुअली सबसे कम ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर्स इंडिकेट करता है, रिप्रेजेंट करता है। मैग्नीज में तो बहुत सारी ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट, लाइक +2 से लेकर +7 तक, क्रोमियम में भी +2 से लेकर के +6 तक, वेनेडियम में भी +5 तक की ऑक्सीडेशन, वेनेडियम 3, वेनेडियम 4, वेनेडियम 5, ये सब एक्सिस्ट करते हैं। तो ये जो ऑर्डर लिखा हुआ है ये एकदम करेक्ट ऑर्डर लिखा है, आंसर नहीं होगा, डज नॉट बताना है आपको। इंक्रीजिंग मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट, यदि आप Ti3+, B3+, Cr3+, Mn3+ में नंबर ऑफ अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन कैलकुलेट करोगे ना, यहाँ 1 आएगा, यहाँ 2 आएगा, यहाँ 3 आएगा, यहाँ 4 आएगा। लाइक टाइटेनियम जो होता है वो 22 है, तो 22 में 3d24s2 होगा। अब इसमें से 3 इलेक्ट्रॉन निकालोगे, d1 बनेगा, यानी 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन बच गया। ऐसे वेनेडियम 3+ में, क्रोमियम 3+ में, मैग्नीज 3+ में निकाल सकते हैं। तो ये भी करेक्ट सीक्वेंस लिखी है, आंसर नहीं होगा। टाइटेनियम, वेनेडियम, क्रोमियम, मैग्नीज इंक्रीजिंग मेल्टिंग पॉइंट, ये रॉन्ग लिखा हुआ है, क्योंकि मैग्नीज के अंदर एक्चुअली D5 कंप्लीटली फिल्ड सबसेल होने की वजह से इसका मेटालिक बॉन्ड वीक होता है, तो इसका मेल्टिंग पॉइंट लो होता है। इतना लो होता है कि ये मैग्नीज जो है वो यहाँ आ जाता है बेसिकली, बाकी टाइटेनियम से क्रोमियम तक बढ़ेगा। तो यही आपका आंसर हो गया, क्योंकि ये गलत सीक्वेंस दी हुई है। एंड डी में बात करें सेकंड आयनाइजेशन एनर्जी का, तो सेकंड आयनाइजेशन एनर्जी क्रोमियम, जैसे क्रोमियम का देख लेते हैं एक बार। क्रोमियम है एक्चुअली 4s1 3d5। अगर आप एक इलेक्ट्रॉन निकाल लोगे तो आपको d5 इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कंफिगरेशन मिल जाएगा, विच इज स्टेबल कंफिगरेशन, तो डिफिकल्ट होगा इलेक्ट्रॉन निकालना, तो क्रोमियम यहाँ हाईएस्ट है। ऐसे ही टाइटेनियम से मैग्नीज तक जैसे जैसे न्यूक्लियर चार्ज बढ़ता है वैसे वैसे सेकेंड आयनाइजेशन एनर्जी भी बढ़ती है। ऑलराइट, तो ये भी करेक्ट सीक्वेंस लिखा हुआ है, तो इसका करेक्ट आंसर हो गया सी। Dry air is passed through a solution containing 10 gram of solute, 90 gram of water, then it is passed through pure water. There is a depression in weight of solution by 2.5 gram. ये बेसिकली ओस्टवर्ड वॉकर मेथड है, इफ यू कैन रिकॉल। आपको सॉल्यूट का मॉलिक्यूलर मास निकालना है, तो P0 माइनस पी नॉट सॉल्वेंट का वेपर प्रेशर है, अपॉन P मस्ट बी इक्वल टू लॉस इन वेट ऑफ solution solvent, सॉरी, अपॉन लॉस इन वेट ऑफ सोल्यूशन। ये कंसेप्ट होता है, और दिस इज इक्वल टू स्मॉल एन अपॉन कैपिटल एन एज पर राउल्स लॉ। ठीक है, बस लॉस इन वेट ऑफ सॉल्वेंट आपको दिया हुआ है कितना 2.5 ग्राम, प्योर सॉल्वेंट में 0.05, सॉल्वेंट में 0.05 है, एंड सोल्यूशन में 2.5 है, एंड स्मॉल एन कैन बी रिटन एज स्मॉल डब्ल्यू अपॉन स्मॉल एम, कैपिटल डब्ल्यू कैपिटल एम। स्मॉल डब्ल्यू 10 ग्राम दिया हुआ है, कैपिटल एम यानी वाटर का मॉलिक्यूलर मास 18 होता है, स्मॉल एम मुझे निकालना है, और कैपिटल डब्ल्यू 90 ग्राम दिया हुआ है। यहां से एम कैलकुलेट कर लो आप, और यहां से आंसर निकल के आता है 100 इज द मॉलिक्यूलर वेट ऑफ सॉल्यूट। सो योर करेक्ट आंसर इज सी। ये पीरियोडिक प्रॉपर्टीज का एक बहुत खूबसूरत सा सवाल है। n0/2 एटम्स ऑफ जीनन गैस चेंजिंग इनटू, सॉरी नॉट जीनन, इट्स एक्स, सिंपली एक्स। एक्स गैस है, अगर इसको मैं x प्लस गैस बनाता हूं, +1 इलेक्ट्रॉन, ये रिप्रेजेंट करता है आयनाइजेशन एनर्जी। और अगर मैं x गैस में एक इलेक्ट्रॉन डाल के x माइनस गैस बनाता हूं, ये रिप्रेजेंट करता है इलेक्ट्रॉन गेन एंथैल्पी, राइट। ठीक है, तो जैसा कि पहला डेटा दिया हुआ है उस पर अगर मैं जाता हूं, तो आई कैन राइट n0/2 इंटू आयनाइजेशन एनर्जी इज इक्वल टू E1। तो यहां से आयनाइजेशन एनर्जी आ गया 2E1 डिवाइडेड बाई n0। ठीक है, ओके, आंसर तो आ गया। देखो आप ऑप्शन ए इज गोइंग टू बी ए करेक्ट वन, बट फिर भी मुझे दूसरा डेटा भी जस्टिफाई करना है। अगर 2n0 एटम एक्स के लिए, और इसका इलेक्ट्रॉन गेन एंथैल्पी में सिंपली लिख दिया, और इससे टोटल एनर्जी E2 रिलीज होती है, तो इलेक्ट्रॉन गेन एंथैल्पी इज इक्वल टू E2 डिवाइडेड बाई 2n0, सॉरी 2n0। और क्योंकि ये रिलीज्ड एनर्जी होती है, इसलिए मैं इसमें एक नेगेटिव साइन और लगा दूंगा। ऑलराइट, तो देखो किससे आंसर मैच कर रहा है, मैच कर रहा है। इट इज गोइंग टू बी ए आंसर विच इज करेक्टली मैचिंग। ऑलराइट, द केमिकल रिएक्शन बिटवीन मर्क्यूरी क्लोराइड एंड पोटेशियम ऑक्सलेट गिवन है, और आपको बताना है ऑर्डर ऑफ रिएक्शन विद रिस्पेक्ट टू ईच टू राइट अ रेट लॉ एक्सप्रेशन। ठीक है, चलिए तो देखते हैं क्या आता है। लाइक अगर मैं मान लूं कि रेट इज इक्वल टू K इंटू कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑफ HgCl2 इंटू कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑफ K2C2O4 रेज टू द पावर B, और इसको मैं मान लेता हूं A। ठीक है, यहां पे एक रेट का कॉलम चाहे तो और बना लें, R1, R2 एंड R3। R1 हो जाएगा मास ऑफ HgCl2 फॉर्म्ड, तो 0.0068 डिवाइडेड बाई 65 मिनट, ऐसे यहां लिख सकते हैं 0.0031 डिवाइडेड बाई 120 एंड ये हो जाएगा 0.0032 डिवाइडेड बाई 60। तो रेट मुझे पता चल गया। अब मैं अगर R1 अपॉन R2 ले लूं तो दिस विल गिव यू HgCl2 को मैं A मान लेता हूं, इसको B मान लेता हूं ना, बड़े बड़े मॉलिक्यूल लिखने पड़ेंगे। तो A1 अपॉन A2 रेज टू द पावर A, B1 अपॉन B2 रेज टू द पावर, सारी कॉन्सेंट्रेशन टर्म है B। अब यहां से देखो A1 A2 बराबर है तो ये तो हो गया 1। तो यहां से R1 अपॉन R2 जब आप लिखोगे 0.0068 डिवाइडेड बाई 65 divided by 0.0031 divided by 120 must be equal to B1 upon B2। ये है आपका 0.404 divided by 0.202 raised to the power what, B लिख दो। ठीक है, यहां पे आपको B की वैल्यू मिल जाएगी 2, यानी ऑर्डर ऑफ रिएक्शन विद रिस्पेक्ट टू K2C2O4 इज गोइंग टू बी 2। अब मुझे HgCl2 के रिस्पेक्ट में और ऑर्डर निकालना है, तो अब मैं ऐसा डेटा लूंगा जहां पे ना K2C2O4 का रेशियो 1 हो जाएगा। तो R1 अपॉन R3 ले सकता हूं। तो R1 अपॉन R3 इज इक्वल टू A1 अपॉन A2 रेज टू द पावर A1 अपॉन A3 एंड B1 अपॉन B2 रेज टू द पावर B। B मुझे पता है लेकिन फिर भी ये 1 हो गया क्योंकि B1 एंड B3 सेम है। तो R1 अपॉन R3 हो गया 0.0068 डिवाइडेड बाई 65 अपॉन 0.0032 divided by 60 must be equal to what, 0.836 upon 0.041, 0.0836 है, 0.0836 0.0418 raised to the power A। ठीक है, पहले वाले पार्ट में भी यही इसी तरह का डेटा आपने को रखना था। तो यहां से ये रफली जब आप कैलकुलेट करोगे ना 2 रेज टू द पावर A इज इक्वल टू 2, यानी कि A का वैल्यू 1 हो जाएगा। इसका मतलब HgCl2 के रिस्पेक्ट में जो ऑर्डर आ रहा है वो 1 है। तो अब आपको रेट का एक्सप्रेशन क्या हो जाएगा, K इज इक्वल टू रेट इज इक्वल टू K इंटू HgCl2 रेज टू द पावर 1 इंटू K2C2O4 रेज टू द पावर 2। सो योर करेक्ट आंसर इज D। ऑलराइट, एक ऑर्गेनिक रिएक्शन दिया हुआ है, दो रिएक्शन का कॉम्बो, यहां पे बताना है आपका प्रोडक्ट Y क्या होगा। ऑलराइट, ठीक है, तो पहले तो ओजोनोलिसिस कराई है वो भी रिडक्टिव, तो आपका कंपाउंड क्या बनेगा, रिडक्टिव ओजोनोलिसिस का जो प्रोडक्ट होगा वो आपका ये होगा CHO एंड CHO। अब क्योंकि इसमें अल्फा हाइड्रोजन नहीं है, अगर मैं कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड OH माइनस डालता हूं तो इंट्रामोलिकुलर कैनेजारो रिएक्शन हो जाएगी, और इंट्रामोलिकुलर कैनेजारो में एक का ऑक्सीडेशन होगा, मान लो ये सॉल्ट में कन्वर्ट हो गया, और एक का रिडक्शन हो गया, ये एल्कोहल में कन्वर्ट हो गया। So this is going to be your final answer। Salt है तो Na और लगा दो आप। So B is going to be the right answer of this question। इंट्रामोलिकुलर कैनिजारो का एक खूबसूरत सा एग्जाम्पल है। ऑलराइट, इंक्रीजिंग ऑर्डर ऑफ रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन विद रिस्पेक्ट टू ब्रोमीन एंड AlCl3, यानी कि एक इलेक्ट्रोफिलिक एरोमेटिक सब्स्टिट्यूशन रिएक्शन के रेट की बात कर रहे हैं। तो आपको पता है कि अगर इलेक्ट्रॉन रिलीजिंग ग्रुप लगे हो तो रेट बढ़ जाता है, और अगर इलेक्ट्रॉन विड्रॉइंग ग्रुप लगे हो तो रेट घट जाता है। तो ये है कंसेप्ट। अब आप चारों ऑप्शन केयरफुली देखोगे तो फोर्थ ऑप्शन में एक तो ये OH लगा है इलेक्ट्रॉन रिलीजिंग, एक ही ऑक्सीजन की इलेक्ट्रॉन रिलीजिंग है। तो फोर्थ आपका मैक्सिमम हो गया, फोर्थ का रेट मैक्सिमम, फॉलोड बाय 2 क्योंकि यहाँ पे OH लगा है तो 2 हो गया, एक इलेक्ट्रॉन रिलीजिंग ग्रुप है, एंड 3 का मिनिमम हो गया क्योंकि इसमें इलेक्ट्रॉन विड्रॉइंग ग्रुप लगा हुआ है, और 3 के पहले 1 आ जाएगा क्योंकि यहाँ पे एक्चुअली डायरेक्टली इलेक्ट्रॉन रिलीजिंग ग्रुप ही लगा है। CH2 को मैं इलेक्ट्रॉन रिलीजिंग ग्रुप लेके चलूंगा, तो इसका करेक्ट सीक्वेंस हुआ 4 2 1 3 4 2 1 3 4 2 1 3। इंक्रीजिंग ऑर्डर में लिखना था इसलिए आंसर आपका A हो गया। ऑलराइट, हाउ मेनी स्ट्रक्चरली पॉसिबल साइक्लोएल्कीन आइसोमर एक्सिस्ट, C5H8 कंपाउंड दिया हुआ है, मैं इसको CH और HCA और HB मानूं तो इसका जो DU होगा वो हो सकता हो जाएगा A+1 माइनस B माइनस C/2। C नाइट्रोजन का आइटम होता है, तो ये है 5+1 माइनस 8/2, ये 2 आ जाएगा, यानी DU 2 है। इसका मतलब ये हुआ साइक्लोएल्कीन अगर आपको लिखना है तो एक साइकिल और एक डबल बॉन्ड आपको रिंग में डालना है। ठीक है, अब कंडीशन ये है कि मिनिमम एक मिथाइल ग्रुप आपको डायरेक्टली रिंग से कनेक्ट करना है। इसका मतलब आपका साइकिल 5 कार्बन का नहीं हो सकता, 4 कार्बन का हो सकता है, एक मिथाइल लगा दिया। अब डबल बॉन्ड आप यहां लगाओगे तो एक साइक्लोब्यूटीन बनेगा, डबल बॉन्ड अगर आप यहां लगाओगे तो दूसरा साइक्लोब्यूटीन बनेगा, तीसरा नहीं बन सकता। ऐसे ही अगर आप 3 मेंबर की साइकिल रखो तो एक मिथाइल यहां लगा दो, एक यहीं लगा दो, डबल बॉन्ड यहां लगेगा। एक पॉसिबिलिटी ये है कि एक मिथाइल यहां, एक मिथाइल यहां और एक डबल बॉन्ड यहां लगा दो। और एक पॉसिबिलिटी ये है कि डबल बॉन्ड आपने अगर यहां लगाया है तो एक मिथाइल यहां भी लगा सकते हैं। तो 3 पॉसिबिलिटी 3 मेंबर रिंग में है। तो टोटल 5 ऐसे आइसोमर बन सकते हैं जो इन कंडीशंस को फुलफिल करते हैं। तो योर सी ऑप्शन इज गोइंग टू बी द राइट आंसर। ऑलराइट, इन विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग पेयर्स द राइट मेजर रेजोनेटिंग स्ट्रक्चर, मतलब जो राइट साइड में लिखा हुआ रेजोनेटिंग स्ट्रक्चर है वो मेजर कंट्रीब्यूटर है, यानी ज्यादा स्टेबल है। ऑलराइट, चलिए एक एक ऑप्शन चेक करते हैं। पहले ऑप्शन में यहां पे एक्चुअली चार्ज सेपरेशन हो गया, तो सेकंड यानी राइट साइड वाला जो कंट्रीब्यूटर है वो मेजर नहीं होगा, ये नहीं होगा आंसर। डी में भी वही बात है, ये भी नहीं होगा आंसर। सी की बात करें तो सी में जो राइट साइड में कंट्रीब्यूटर है ना, ये इसके अंदर साइक्लोप्रोपिनाइल कैटायन है जो कि एरोमेटिक है। एरोमेटिक है, 2 पाई इलेक्ट्रॉन से कंप्लीट डीलोकलाइजेशन है, तो एरोमेटिक सॉल्ट्स आर हाईली स्टेबल, तो इसके बनने के चांसेस बहुत ज्यादा है, इसलिए यही आपका आंसर हो गया। राइट साइड वाला जो रेजोनेटिंग स्ट्रक्चर है वो मेजर कंट्रीब्यूटर है। ऑलराइट, और सेम लॉजिक की वजह से चार्ज सेपरेशन है यहाँ पे, डी भी आपका आंसर नहीं आएगा। सो योर करेक्ट आंसर इज सी। Among the following complexes the total number of paramagnetic species जिसके अंदर अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन एग्जिस्ट करते हैं वो निकालने हैं। देखो NiCO4 में Ni एक्चुअली होता है D8H2, लेकिन कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड डालोगे तो S का इलेक्ट्रॉन भी D में शिफ्ट होकर D10 हो जाएगा, और D10 अगर हुआ तो सारे इलेक्ट्रॉन पेयर्ड फॉर्म में ही रहेंगे, तो ये आंसर में नहीं कंसिडर होगा। NiCO4 में क्लोराइड एक वीक फील्ड लिगेंड है, 3D8 इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कन्फिगुरेशन के अंदर अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन होंगे तो ये पैरामैग्नेटिक होगा। कोबाल्ट यहाँ +3 है, और कोबाल्ट +3 D6 होता है, और D6 में अगर हमारे पास स्ट्रॉन्ग फील्ड लिगेंड आता है जो कि अमोनिया है, तो ये एक्चुअली D2sp3 हाइब्रिडाइजेशन दिखाता है, और D2sp3 में जो 6 इलेक्ट्रॉन डी के हैं वो 3 ऑर्बिटल में पेयर फॉर्म में रहते हैं, तो ये भी आपका डायामैग्नेटिक होगा, आंसर में नहीं आएगा। Na3COF6 कोबाल्ट यहाँ पे +3 है, बट फ्लोराइड एक वीक फील्ड लिगेंड है कोबाल्ट 3 के लिए, इसलिए ये sp3d2 हाइब्रिडाइजेशन होगा। और अगर मैं 3d के 6 इलेक्ट्रॉन को लिखूंगा तो यहाँ पे पक्का अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन कुछ इस तरह से आएंगे, ये T2G में, ये T2G में चले गए, फिर Ag में चले गए, फिर एक इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ पे आ गए, 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन अनपेयर्ड बच रहे हैं, तो ये पैरामैग्नेटिक हो गया। पेरोक्साइड डायमैग्नेटिक होता है तो ये आंसर में नहीं आएगा। CsO2 -1 है, सुपर ऑक्साइड है, इसमें एक अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन एक्सिस्ट करेगा, क्योंकि जो ऑक्सीजन के अंदर आखिरी के 2 अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन कंटेनिंग एंटी बॉन्डिंग एमओ होते हैं, उसमें से एक इलेक्ट्रॉन लेकर के पेयरिंग हो जाएगी, तो स्टिल एक अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ एक्सिस्ट करेगा। तो टोटल 3 ऐसे मॉलिक्यूल है जहां पे पैरामैग्नेटिज्म एक्सिस्ट करता है। ऑलराइट, सो योर आंसर इज बी। टोटल नंबर ऑफ पॉसिबल ज्योमेट्रिकल आइसोमर ऑफ ऑक्टाहेड्रल कॉम्प्लेक्सेस। देखो ऑक्टाहेड्रल कॉम्प्लेक्स ए का मतलब सिमेट्रिकल बाइडेंटेट लिगेंड हो गया, तो इसको ना ऐसे फिक्स कर दो यहाँ पे और यहाँ पे। अब आपके पास 4 लोकेशन है जहां पे आपको लिखना है 4 डिफरेंट लिगेंड को, तो मैं ए बी ट्रांस लिख सकता हूं, ए सी ट्रांस लिख सकता हूं, ए डी ट्रांस लिख सकता हूं, ऐसे मैं बी सी ट्रांस लिख सकता हूं, मैं बी डी ट्रांस लिख सकता हूं, मैं सी डी ट्रांस लिख सकता हूं। तो मैंने सारी पॉसिबिलिटी लिख दी यहां पे, जस्ट या इन पोजीशन पे आप लिखते जाओ, ए एन बी, ए एन सी, ए एन डी, बी एन सी, बी एन डी, सी एन डी, तो सारे पॉसिबल आइसोमर बन जाएंगे, यानी टोटल 6 आइसोमर यहां पे बनेंगे। ऑलराइट, सो योर सी आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी द करेक्ट वन। बॉन्ड एंगल डिक्रीजेज एक्सेप्ट, किसमें बॉन्ड एंगल डिक्रीज नहीं होगा? देखो अमोनिया, अमोनियम से अमोनिया बनाते हैं तो sp3 हाइब्रिडाइजेशन दोनों में है, लेकिन एक लोन पेयर होने की वजह से बॉन्ड एंगल इसका कम हो जाता है 109.5 से, तो ये आंसर नहीं है, मतलब एक करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट है। कन्वर्टेड टू दिस तो बॉन्ड एंगल एक्चुअली डिक्रीज होगा। राइट, किसमें नहीं होगा ये बताना है। NH2- बेंट स्ट्रक्चर होता है, बॉन्ड एंगल विल बी रफली 105 डिग्री। N3- एक्चुअली लीनियर होता है, -1 -1 +1, तो ये sp हाइब्रिडाइज्ड है, तो बॉन्ड एंगल बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ जाएगा, 180 डिग्री का बॉन्ड एंगल हो गया, तो ये आंसर आ गया आपका। ऑलराइट, SO3 में 120 होता है, SO2 में 120 से लेस होगा, बेंट स्ट्रक्चर होता है ये, तो इसके अंदर भी बॉन्ड एंगल डिक्रीज हो जाएगा। CO2 इज 180 एंड CO3- में 120 डिग्री का एंगल होता है, इसमें भी डिक्रीज हो रहा है, तो आपका करेक्ट आंसर बी हो गया। ऑलराइट, एस्टरीफिकेशन रिएक्शन दिया हुआ है, 1 मोल मैंने एसिटिक एसिड लिया, 1 मोल मैंने एथेनॉल लिया। अब मान लो इसमें से x मोल गया, इसमें से x मोल गया, तो ये x और x बनेगा, राइट। और TC हमें इस रिएक्शन का दिया है 4, तो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी x इंटू एक्स अपॉन 1 माइनस एक्स इंटू 1 माइनस एक्स, ऑलराइट। तो यहां से जब आप कैलकुलेशन करके x निकालेंगे 2/3 मोल आएगा। इजी क्वेश्चन, कैलकुलेशन भी नहीं है। तो हाउ मेनी मोल्स ऑफ एस्टर्स आर गोइंग टू बी फॉर्म्ड, यानी आपको x का वैल्यू निकालना था। आंसर 2/3, डी इज द राइट आंसर, ऑलराइट। If uncertainty in position and velocity are same, uncertainty in the momentum will be। डेल्टा x और डेल्टा v सेम है, और आपको पता है डेल्टा x इंटू डेल्टा p इज इक्वल टू h अपॉन 4 पाई। तो डेल्टा x इंटू m डेल्टा v इज इक्वल टू h अपॉन 4 पाई। डेल्टा x की जगह डेल्टा v लिख देता हूं, तो m डेल्टा v स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू h अपॉन 4 पाई। तो यहां से मुझे डेल्टा v पता पड़ गया h अपॉन 4 पाई m स्क्वायर रूट, और मुझे चाहिए अनसर्टेनिटी इन मोमेंटम, यानी डेल्टा p निकालना है। अगेन m डेल्टा v लिख दिया, तो m इंटू डेल्टा v की वैल्यू रख दिया h अपॉन 4 पाई m, विच इज गोइंग टू बी अंडर रूट hm अपॉन 4 पाई, ऑलराइट। hm अपॉन 4 पाई आपका फाइनल आंसर जो कि डी में दिया हुआ है। सो डी इज द करेक्ट आंसर। Student is performing an experiment in the lab. He has drawn this cyclic process। 4 से 1 एडियाबैटिक दिया हुआ है, 1 से 2 आपका आइसोकोरिक हो गया, 2 से 3 आपका आइसोथर्मल हो गया, 3 से 4 आपका आइसोबैरिक हो गया। एक्चुअली ग्राफ का स्ट्रेट लाइन ऐसा है ना, तो V डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल T हो गया, विच इज रिप्रेजेंटिंग की प्रेशर कांस्टेंट है, तो आइसोबैरिक हो गया, ऑलराइट। अब आपको कैलकुलेट करना है, और 4 से 1 दिया हुआ है कि ये आपका एडियाबैटिक प्रोसेस है, तो अब आपको कैलकुलेशन करना है कि इसके अंदर टोटल वर्क डन कितना होगा। तो क्या मैं लिख सकता हूं, W टोटल इज इक्वल टू W12 प्लस W23 प्लस W34 प्लस W41, ऑलराइट। W12 जीरो आइसोकोरिक प्रोसेस है, W23 आइसो थर्मल है, तो आई कैन राइट माइनस NRT, T3 ले लेता हूं, वैसे T2 T3 बराबर होंगे, ln V3 अपॉन V2 प्लस W34 क्योंकि आइसोबैरिक है, ये होगा माइनस NR T फाइनल यानी T4 माइनस T3, और प्लस एडियाबैटिक में मैं वर्क डन लिख सकता हूं माइनस NR T2 माइनस T1 यानी कि T1 माइनस T4 डिवाइडेड बाई गामा माइनस 1। अब ये सारी वैल्यूज उठा के क्लब कर दो आप, तो अगर आप सारी वैल्यूज उठा करके क्लब करोगे ना, तो आपका ये वैल्यू आ जाएगा, नेट NR तो कॉमन है सभी में, ये आ जाएगा T3 ln V2 अपॉन V3 प्लस T3 माइनस T1 प्लस T1 माइनस T4 डिवाइडेड बाई गामा माइनस 1 इज द राइट आंसर। सो B इस ऑप्शन को, इस वैल्यू को कंटेन करता है, तो B इज गोइंग टू बी द राइट आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन, ऑलराइट। Two buffers X and Y having pH 4 and 6 respectively are prepared from acid HA and salt Na। दोनों बफर एसिड का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन सेम है 0.5। What would be the pH of solution obtained by mixing equal volume of two buffer? Okay, तो बफर X के लिए pH 4 है, तो दिस इज इक्वल टू pKa प्लस log salt, salt को S1 मान लेता हूं X बफर में, अपॉन 0.5 इक्वेशन 1। सिमिलरली Y बफर के लिए 6 इज इक्वल टू pKa प्लस log S2, S2 इज द कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑफ सॉल्ट इन सेकेंड बफर 0.5, ये 2 हो गया। अब 2 में से 1 को सब्ट्रैक्ट कर लो आप, तो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी 6 माइनस 4 इज इक्वल टू लॉग S2 अपॉन S1। यहां से S2 अपॉन S1 मिल जाएगा 100, तो S2 इज इक्वल टू 100 S1, ऑलराइट। अब जब इक्वल वॉल्यूम ऑफ X एंड Y विल बी मिक्स्ड, व्हेन इक्वल वॉल्यूम ऑफ X एंड Y आर मिक्स्ड, देन व्हाट, देन आपका HA कॉन्सेंट्रेशन तो उतना ही रहेगा 0.5 मोलर, लेकिन जो सॉल्ट की कॉन्सेंट्रेशन होगी वो हो जाएगी S1B प्लस S2B अपॉन 2B, यानी S1 प्लस S2 बाई 2, तो ये आपका आ जाएगा 101 S1 बाई 2। अब आप मिक्सचर का pH लिखोगे तो अगेन सेम फॉर्मूला pKa प्लस लॉग सॉल्ट अपॉन एसिड। pKa को फर्स्ट इक्वेशन से उठा लो, 4 माइनस लॉग S1 डिवाइडेड बाई 0.5 प्लस लॉग 101 S1 अपॉन 2 इंटू 0.5। अब जब क्लब करोगे ना S1 कैंसिल हो जाएगा, तो ये वैल्यू 5.7 आ जाएगी। और यूनिक बात इस सोल्यूशन की ये है कि इसमें मैंने पीके और के यूज ही नहीं किया है। बहुत पुराना क्वेश्चन है ये, जेई में आया हुआ, तो उसमें के दिया हुआ था और के को यूज करके तो और आसान हो जाता है। तो इट्स 5.2 5.7 यानी कि डी इज द करेक्ट आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन। ऑलराइट, two compounds 1 and 2 are eluted by column chromatography. It is option of 1 is greater than 2। इसका मतलब 1 में इंटरमोलिकुलर फोर्सेस ज्यादा है, इसका मतलब 1 जो है फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स ज्यादा फेस करेगा, यानी कि उसका मूवमेंट स्लो होगा, तो उसकी आरएफ वैल्यू भी कम होगी। राइट, तो क्या आंसर आएगा चेक करिए। 2 मूव फास्टर, दैट्स करेक्ट, एंड हायर आरएफ वैल्यू, बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर। 1 का आरएफ वैल्यू कम होगा, 1 का मूवमेंट भी स्लो होगा। ऑलराइट, सो बी इज द राइट आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन। द करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट अबाउट द फॉलोइंग डाइसैकराइड। देखो रिंग ए जो है वो एक्चुअली पायरेनोज है, 6 मेंबर्ड है, तो पायरेनोज हो गई। ये पायरेनोज है, ये फ्यूरेनोज है। और एक और बात ये है कि इसमें अल्फा पोजीशन पे ना ये देखो ईथर लिंकेज दिया हुआ है, तो इसका मतलब ये अल्फा ग्लाइकोसाइडिक लिंक जो है वो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में मौजूद है। तो इसका आंसर होना चाहिए रिंग ए इज पायरेनोज एंड अल्फा ग्लाइकोसाइडिक लिंकेज भी रिंग ए ही कंटेन करता है। सो ए इज गोइंग टू बी द राइट आंसर। The power of halides of boron that acts as a Lewis acid decreases in the order. ओके देखो लुईस एसिड ऑफ बोरॉन के अंदर, हाइलाइट्स ऑफ बोरॉन के अंदर खास बात क्या होती है, फ्लोरीन और बोरॉन के बीच में बैक बॉन्डिंग हो जाती है। ये पी का खाली ऑर्बिटल, ये पी का भरा हुआ ऑर्बिटल, राइट, इनके बीच में पार्शियल ओवरलैप होकर के बोरॉन और फ्लोरीन के बीच में बैक बॉन्डिंग हो जाती है। बैक बॉन्डिंग से बोरॉन की जो इलेक्ट्रॉन डेफिशिएंसी है वो कम हो जाती है, यानी इलेक्ट्रॉन लेने की टेंडेंसी, इलेक्ट्रॉन पेयर लेने की टेंडेंसी कम हो जाती है। तो BF3 का लुईस एसिड कैरेक्टर कम हो गया। अब ये जो टेंडेंसी है फ्लोरीन से ब्रोमीन तक घटेगी, क्यों? क्योंकि साइज का डिफरेंस आ गया ना, फ्लोरीन में तो 2p है, क्लोरीन में 3p हो जाएगा और ब्रोमीन में 4p हो जाएगा, तो ओवरलैप का एक्सटेंट कम हो जाएगा। तो बैक बॉन्डिंग की टेंडेंसी BF3 से लेके BI3 तक घटेगी। तो BI3 सपोज टू बी स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट लुईस एसिड, या BBr3 है इसमें, तो BBr3 हाईएस्ट होगा एंड BF3 लीस्ट होगा। तो इसका बी आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी द राइट आंसर। ऑलराइट, identify the number of alcohols that show rearrangement during dehydration। देखो डिहाइड्रेशन ऑफ अल्कोहल जब एसिड के साथ करते हैं ना, तो बेसिकली ये ROH2 प्लस बन के फिर R प्लस बनता है। अगर जरूरत पड़ी तो रीअरेंजमेंट होगा, उसके बाद एल्कीन बनेगा। ये पूरी प्रोसेस है। हम सबको पता है जब भी कोई मैकेनिज्म ऐसा होता है जिसमें कार्बोकेटायन बनता है, तो उसमें वो लेस स्टेबल से मोर स्टेबल की तरफ रीअरेंज होता है। तो अब ये चेक करना है कि इनमें किस में रीअरेंजमेंट होगा। देखो पहला देखते हैं, जैसे यहाँ पे कार्बोनिमैन बनेगा, मिथाइल शिफ्ट होकर यहाँ पे आ सकता है, यहाँ पे, तो इसमें रीअरेंजमेंट हो जाएगा। ये ऑलरेडी टर्सरी बनाता है, नहीं होगा। इसमें भी सेम बात है जो फर्स्ट में था, यहाँ पे एक हाइड्राइड शिफ्ट होकर के टर्सरी में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा, तो ये भी काउंट करेंगे। इसमें भी ये मिथाइल है, मिथाइल शिफ्ट करके यहाँ से प्लस चार्ज मूव को यहाँ की टर्सरी बन जाएगा, ये भी आंसर में आएगा। इसमें कोई चांस नहीं है क्योंकि सेकेंडरी कार्बोनिल ही बनना पॉसिबल है। इसमें भी अगर मैं एक हाइड्राइड शिफ्ट कर दूं तो प्लस चार्ज यहाँ से यहाँ चला जाएगा और ये एलाइलिक हो जाएगा, और एलाइलिक प्लस चार्ज रेजोनेंस की वजह से ज्यादा स्टेबल है। ऑलराइट, तो एक ये भी कंसिडर करना होगा। ये ऑलरेडी बेंजालिक है तो ये नहीं कंसिडर करना होगा, इसमें रीअरेंजमेंट नहीं होगा। इसमें यदि मैं इस H को ट्रांसफर कर दूं तो प्लस चार्ज यहां से यहां जाएगा, यानी रीअरेंजमेंट होगा, बेंजालिक बन जाएगा ना, स्टेबल हो जाएगा। इसमें भी प्लस चार्ज पहले तो यहां आएगा, फिर रिंग एक्सपेंशन होकर 6 मेंबर में चला जाएगा, अगेन ज्यादा स्टेबल होगा, यानी इसमें भी रीअरेंजमेंट होगा। इसमें नहीं होगा, ऑलरेडी टर्सरी भी है, बेंजालिक भी, और क्या ही चाहिए। तो 1 2 3 4 5, आई एम गेटिंग 5। ऑलराइट, 5 1 2 3 4 5 ये भी है ना, एंड 6, तो टोटल 6 ऐसे कंपाउंड है जहां पे कैटायन का रीअरेंजमेंट पॉसिबल है ड्यूरिंग डिहाइड्रेशन रिएक्शन। ऑलराइट, कैलकुलेट द परसेंटेज ऑफ SN1 इन 2-chlorobutane और रिएक्शन विद NaOH। 2-chlorobutane का एक्चुअली रिएक्शन करवा रहे हैं NaOH एंड H2O के साथ। तो जो मुझे कंपाउंड मिल रहा है ना, उसके अंदर यहाँ पे जैसे OH आ गया, तो जैसे ये प्लस है तो ये प्लस भी बन सकता है, माइनस भी बन सकता है, दोनों का मिक्सर बन सकता है। अब इन्होंने बोला है कि 98% इन्वर्टेड प्रोडक्ट है, इसका मतलब SN2 ज्यादा हो रहा है। ठीक, अगर 98% प्लस का माइनस बना है, इसका मतलब 2% किस में रहा होगा, रिटेन प्रोडक्ट रहा होगा प्लस फॉर्म में। तो ये जो प्लस फॉर्म बनेगा वो तो SN1 के थ्रू ही बन सकता है, क्योंकि SN2 में तो हमेशा इन्वर्जन ही होता है। तो अगर SN1 के थ्रू 2% यानी रिटेन्ड प्रोडक्ट बना तो SN1 में होता है रेसमाइजेशन। रेसमाइजेशन में आपका प्लस एंड माइनस दोनों बनेगा। ठीक, अगर 2 प्लस बना है इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि जब रेसमाइजेशन हुआ होगा, 2 प्लस दिख रहा है फाइनली, इसका मतलब जब रेसमाइजेशन हुआ होगा तो 2 प्लस के साथ 2 माइनस भी बना होगा SN1 में ही। तो SN1 में आउट ऑफ 100 मॉलिक्यूल 2 प्लस बना और 2 माइनस बना। ठीक, तो SN2 में कितना बच गया टोटल, 100 माइनस 4 यानी कि 96। तो 96 मॉलिक्यूल्स का कंप्लीट इन्वर्जन रहा होगा, और अगर 96% मॉलिक्यूल का इन्वर्जन रहा होगा तो SN2 96% मॉलिक्यूल ने दिया होगा। तो आउट ऑफ 100 4 मॉलिक्यूल रेसमाइजेशन में चले गए, 2 प्लस बना 2 माइनस बना, और 96 माइनस में कन्वर्ट हो गया यानी इन्वर्जन हो गया। तो इन्वर्टेड प्रोडक्ट होगा 96 SN2 वाला और 2 SN1 वाला यानी 98 हो गया। तो सारी कंडीशन को फुलफिल कर रहा है। तो हमें बताना था SN1 कितने परसेंट गया है, यानी कि 2% गया, 4% गया, सॉरी 4% गया। ऑलराइट, तो 4 इज द राइट आंसर। नंबर ऑफ कंपाउंड्स विच इवॉल्व CO2 ऑन हीटिंग आर। कौन कौन से कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड निकालेंगे? देखो, बीटा कीटो एसिड को हीट करने पर डायरेक्टली CO2 निकलता है, बीटा गामा अनसैचुरेटेड एसिड को हीट करने पर डायरेक्टली CO2 निकलता है। बीटा पोजीशन पे कोई भी ऐसा अनसैचुरेटेड ग्रुप लगा हो जो स्टेबल कर दे कंपाउंड को, बनने के बाद स्टेबल कर दे, या जो साइक्लिक ट्रांजिशन स्टेट बनती है, जो साइक्लिक ट्रांजिशन स्टेट 6 मेंबर बनती है उसको स्टेबलाइज कर दे, तो वो सारे कंपाउंड एक्चुअली आसानी से डीकार्बोक्सिलेट हो जाते हैं विदाउट यूजिंग NaOH। देखो, ये बीटा कीटो एसिड है, डीकार्बोक्सिलेट हो जाएगा। यहाँ बीटा पोजीशन पे एक अनसैचुरेटेड ग्रुप लगा हुआ है, इसका भी डीकार्बोक्सिलेशन हो जाएगा। ऑलराइट, यहाँ पे भी वही बात है, अल्फा बीटा अनसैचुरेशन है बीटा पे, यहाँ भी बीटा पोजीशन पे अनसैचुरेटेड है। एक तरह से देखा जाए नाइट्रोजन को मैं की एटम मान लेता हूँ जहां पे अनसैचुरेशन शुरू हो रहा है, तो इसमें भी साइक्लिक टी स्टेबल बनेगा, इसमें भी साइक्लिक टी स्टेबल बनेगा। ये है बीटा गामा अनसैचुरेटेड, इसमें भी साइक्लिक टी स्टेबल बनेगा। ये कंपाउंड एनहाइड्राइड बनाएगा, एक्चुअली केवल वाटर निकालेगा, CO2 इसमें नहीं निकलेगा, इसमें एक्चुअली वाटर निकल के एनहाइड्राइड फॉर्मेशन होगा। इस कंपाउंड के अंदर 1 2 3 4 इसमें भी एक्चुअली CO2 और वाटर दोनों निकल के कीटोन बनेगा, तो CO2 तो निकल ही रहा है, तो ये कंपाउंड एक्चुअली फॉर्म होगा। देखो ये, राइट, तो ये भी आंसर में आएगा। बीटा हाइड्रोक्सी में एक्चुअली डिहाइड्रेशन होकर अनसैचुरेशन आता है, इन दोनों की पोजीशन, इन दोनों के बीच में डबल बॉन्ड आ जाएगा, तो ये नहीं होगा आंसर। ये ऑक्सैलिक एसिड है, हीट करने पे CO प्लस CO2 प्लस वाटर बनाता है, यानी ये भी आंसर में आएगा। एंड इसका डिकार्बोक्सिलेशन हीट करने पे होगा ही नहीं, एक्चुअली आपको सोडा लाइम लेना पड़ेगा डिकार्बोक्सिलेशन करने के लिए, राइट। तो टोटल नंबर ऑफ कितने मॉलिक्यूल्स हो गए, 1 2 3 4 5 6। I am getting 6 molecule which can revolve carbon dioxide on heating. So 6 is the right answer of this question. All right. Number of species having peroxide linkage. PbO2 नॉर्मल ऑक्साइड होता है, नहीं होगा। डाइक्रोमेट का स्ट्रक्चर में कोई भी ऑक्सीजन ऐसा नहीं है जहां पे पेरोक्सी लिंकेज दिखे, ये डाइक्रोमेट का स्ट्रक्चर होता है। परक्रोमेट पेरोक्साइड लिंकेज कंटेन करता है, बटरफ्लाई स्ट्रक्चर, ये ऐसा होता है, यानी कि स्ट्रक्चर बेस्ड क्वेश्चन है ये। तो एक तो ये आंसर हो गया। BaO2 है ही पेरोक्साइड, O2 2 माइनस कंटेन करता है BaO2, तो ये भी आंसर हो गया। H2SO5 पेरोक्सी मोनोसल्फ्यूरिक एसिड है, इसमें भी एक पेरोक्सी लिंकेज होता है, ये रहा। NO2 ऑक्साइड है, नॉर्मल ऑक्साइड है, तो ये नहीं होगा। तो आपके 3 ऐसे मॉलिक्यूल हैं जिसके अंदर पेरोक्सी लिंकेज मौजूद है, तो योर आंसर इज 3। Electrolysis of a solution of MnSO4 according to this reaction is taking place. इसमें 27 एम्पियर की करंट 24 आवर्स के लिए पास करते हैं, 1 किलोग्राम MnO2 बनता है, करंट एफिशिएंसी बताना है। कंसेप्ट क्या है, नंबर ऑफ इक्विवेलेंस ऑफ सब्सटेंस फॉर्म्ड इज इक्वल टू नंबर ऑफ फैराडेज ऑफ चार्ज यूज्ड, राइट, ये कंसेप्ट यूज करेंगे, और ये होगा I इंटू T इंटू करंट एफिशिएंसी डिवाइडेड बाई 96500। और नंबर ऑफ इक्विवेलेंट को वेट अपॉन इक्विवेलेंट वेट लिखते पड़े हैं। वेट है 1000 ग्राम 1 kg अपॉन इक्विवेलेंट वेट मॉलिक्यूलर वेट बाय n फैक्टर जो कि 2 है। 2 कैसे है, MnO2 यहाँ Mn+4 है और यहाँ +2 है, तो 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन का ट्रांसफर होगा एक मॉलिक्यूल बनाने में। ऑलराइट, यहां से अगर आप I दिया हुआ है, I का वैल्यू है 27, 24R का मतलब 24 इंटू 3600 सेकेंड इंटू करंट एफिशिएंसी डिवाइडेड बाय 96500 इज इक्वल टू 2000 अपॉन 87। यहां से करंट एफिशिएंसी निकालोगे, दिस कम्स आउट टू बी 90.95 आएगा, है ना? तो 0.95 का मतलब 95% हो गया ना, परसेंटेज निकालना है. व्हाट इज द करंट एफिशिएंसी? 95%. All right. So this is going to be the right answer of this question. All right.
Hi everyone, I am Firoz Khan, Master Teacher of Mathematics here at Vedantu. So in this video, we are going to discuss the mathematics paper which was conducted very recently, right? So here is the question on your screen, and the question is from 3D. Two lines are given to you, and they are saying that these two lines are coplanar. So then the value of k is very easy. See, whenever two lines are coplanar, what you do simply, you just make a determinant. Whenever two lines are coplanar or intersecting, what you do, you form a determinant and put this determinant equal to 0. Now, how will you form the determinant? So, in the first row, you will write the direction ratios of the first line, which is 1, 2, 3, the denominator. In the second row, you will write the direction ratios of the second line, which is 3, 2, 1. And in the third row, you write the difference of the points on the line. One point, see the point on the first line is K23, and point on the second line is 3, sorry, point on the second line is -1, -2, -3. You can see the first line is passing through the point K23, and the second line is passing through the point -1, -2, -3. So in the third row of this determinant, you will write the difference of these 2 points, means K plus 1, then 2 plus 2, which is 4, then 3 plus 3, which is 6. The first row, the direction ratios of the first line 1, 2, 3. Second row, the direction ratios of the second line 3, 2, 1. And in the third row, difference of the points. So K plus 1, 2 plus 2, 4, 3 plus 3, 6. And if the lines are coplanar, then this determinant should be 0. Now just expand this determinant. Let's expand this determinant through the first column. So if I expand it through the first column, I will get 1 times 12 minus 4. Then -3 times 12 minus 12. And then k plus 1 times 2 minus 6. It should be 0. So you are getting 8 here. Then you are getting 0 here. Then you are getting minus 4k minus 4. So ultimately it gives you k is equal to 1. So 1 is the correct option here, correct answer here. Okay, see this question. This is from differential equations. They are saying that a curve passes through the point 2 comma log 2 whole square. This point is on the curve, and the slope of the curve at any point xy is given 2y over x log x. This is slope of the curve, and curve is y is equal to fx. So what will be f of e? Basically, you have to find the value of the function at e. So slope is given. Slope means what? dy by dx is given. So dy by dx is given here. And what is dy by dx given? Dy by dx is 2y over x log x. It is simple variable separable. You can write dy by dx is 2 by x log x dx. So it can be written as dy over y is 2 times dx over x log x. So dy over y is 2 times dx over x log x. Variable separable. Now just integrate. So on the left side you are getting log y. On the right side you will get 2 log x plus every term is in terms of log. So let's write log c here. So ultimately y comes out to be c. In fact, this 2 log x is log x whole square. So it will be y will be basically c times log x whole square. This is the curve. Y is equal to c times log x whole square. Now they are saying that at this point 2 comma log 2 whole square. 2 comma log 2 whole square actually satisfies this curve. So put x is equal to 2 and y is equal to log 2 whole square. So when you put x is equal to 2 here and y is equal to log 2 whole square, so c comes out to be 1. C is 1. And when c is 1, so you can say that your function fx is basically log x whole square. Now what they are asking? They are asking fe. So fe will be log e whole square, which is 1. So again, 1 is the correct answer here. Okay, see this question. This is from area, right? So 3 parabolas are given here. And they are saying that you find the area bounded by these 3 parabolas in the upper half of the plane. Upper half of the plane means above x-axis. So you have to find the area bounded by these 3 parabolas above x-axis. So let's draw these 3 parabolas first and see what is the area bounded here. So let's say this is y-axis. Let's say this is x-axis. So the first curve is what? Y is equal to 1 minus x square by 2. It is actually a downward parabola having vertex at 0 comma half, vertex at here 0 comma half, and this parabola cuts x-axis at 1 and minus 1. So this is basically a downward parabola. It goes like this. So this is the parabola. This parabola is y is equal to 1 minus x square by 2. This point is its vertex, which is this point is 1 comma 0. This point is minus 1 comma 0. And vertex of this parabola here is 0 comma half. This vertex is 0 comma half. The turning point of this parabola. Now let's draw this parabola. Y square is equal to 4 minus 4x. Y square is equal to 4 minus 4x. Or you can say 4 minus 4x. Or you can say y is 2 times under root 1 minus. So basically it is a left open parabola whose vertex is 1 comma 0 here. Vertex is 1 comma 0. And this parabola cuts y-axis at plus minus 2. When you put x is equal to 0, so y will be 2 and minus 2. So this is the left open parabola. It will cut y-axis at 2 here. This is the vertex. So this parabola will go like this. It will go like this. This is the parabola. This point is 0 comma 2. And the third parabola, which is y square is equal to 4x minus 4. It is a right open parabola having vertex at minus 1 comma 0 here. So this parabola will go like this. It will go like this. Now, which area you have to find? You have to find the area bounded by the 3 parabolas in the on upper half plane, means above x-axis. So actually you have to get this area. This area you have to find. And you can see that this area is symmetric about y-axis. Means whatever area you will get on the right side of y-axis, same area you will get on the left side of y-axis. So what I will do, I will just find this area in the first quadrant and double it. So then that will be the required area. So now I'm finding this area in the first quadrant. So what will be the required area? The required area will be 2 times area in the first quadrant. And in the first quadrant, area is I'm taking from 0 to 1. From 0 to 1, upper curve minus lower curve. So this upper curve is y square is equal to 4 minus 4x, or you can say it is 2 times under root 1 minus x. See, this upper curve is y square is equal to 4 minus 4x, or 2 times under root 1 minus x. And the lower curve is this curve, y is equal to 1 minus x square by 2. So right upper minus lower. So 2 times under root 1 minus x minus lower is 1 minus x square by 2 dx. And now it is very simple integration. Just integrate it, you will get your area. And when you integrate, so ultimately this area comes out to be 2. Okay, see this question. This limit is given as 2. So what will be a plus b plus c? Limit is already given. You have to find a plus b plus c. So what I can do here, let's use expansion. Let's use expansion. Or you can use, in fact, you can use L'Hopital rule also, because it is 0 by 0 form. So what should I use? I should use, in fact, see this denominator thing, x sin x, the denominator x sin x can be written as sin x over x into x. So this sin x over x will become 1. So ultimately denominator is effectively x square. So I can write it as a e raised to x minus b cos x plus c e raised to minus x whole divided by x square. This limit is 2. Actually, x sin x is effectively x square, because sin x can be written as sin x over x multiplied by x square. Now, since denominator is approaching to 0, so hence numerator must be approaching to 0. So hence if I put x is equal to 0, numerator should be 0. If I put x is equal to 0, I will get a minus b plus c is equal to 0. Now it is 0 by 0 form. So let's use LH rule, L'Hopital rule. So if I differentiate, I will get a e raised to x plus b sin x minus c e raised to minus x whole divided by 2x. It is 2. Just differentiate numerator and denominator. You are using L'Hopital rule. Now still denominator is approaching to 0. So if I put x is equal to 0, numerator must be 0. So numerator will be what? If I put x is equal to 0, it will be a minus c. So this must be 0. Now if I differentiate it again, since it is 0 by 0 form, so I can differentiate it again. So this is a e raised to x plus b cos x plus c e raised to minus x. And denominator is 2. This limit is 2. And now when I put x is equal to 0 here, so I'm getting a plus b plus c by 2. This is the limit. So hence a plus b plus c is 4. And this is what they are asking. They are asking a plus b plus c only. So hence a plus b plus c will be 4, which is the correct answer. 4 should be the correct answer here. See this question, this is from continuity. You are given a function here and you have to check the number of points where this function is discontinuous, and you have to find the number of points in the interval minus 2 to 1. So since this function contains integral part of x, so hence you have to check the continuity only at integral points. At remaining point, this function will be continuous for sure. So no need to check. You will check the continuity only at 2 points, and between minus 2 and 1. What are the integral points? Integral points are minus 1 and 0. So these are the 2 points where you have to check the continuity. I'm not saying that these 2 point function is discontinuous. First, I have to check whether at these 2 point function is continuous or not. No need to check at other points. So let's check at x is equal to minus 1 first. At x is equal to minus 1. At x is equal to minus 1, if I check left hand limit. So left hand limit means x is slightly less than minus 1. X is slightly less than minus 1. So this integral part will become minus 2. So this is mod of minus 2. X is approaching to minus 1 and integral part is minus 2. So it is plus 2. So this limit comes out to be here 2 plus 1, 3. So left hand limit is 3. Now what is right hand limit? Right hand limit means now x is slightly greater than minus 1. तो integral part will be -1. तो mod of -1 plus under root -1, and since x is slightly greater than -1, the integral part of is -1, so you will get +1 here. So this is 1. So you can see that the left hand limit and right hand limit are different at x is equal to -1. So therefore at x is equal to -1, this function is discontinuous. Now let's check at x is equal to 0. At x is equal to 0, if I check the left hand limit, 0 means x, left hand limit means x is slightly less than 0. The integral part is -1 plus under root x is approaching to 0. So it is 0. Integral part is -1. So you got +1. So left hand limit is 2. Now what is the right hand limit? When x is approaching to 0 plus integral part will be 0. So mod 0 plus under root 0 minus 0. So it is 0. So again left hand limit and right hand limit are different. So hence this function is discontinuous at 2 points -1 and 0. So -1 and 0 are the 2 points where this function is discontinuous. So hence you will say that there are 2 points of discontinuity. Means your final answer will be 2 here, right? Okay, see this question. This is from binomial. They are saying that n is a positive integer. The coefficients of 3 consecutive terms in this binomial expansion are in the ratio 5, 10, 14. Then what will be the largest coefficient in this expansion? So just for sake of convenience, what I'm doing, I'm taking this n plus 5. Let me take this n plus 5 as capital N. So now you can say that your binomial expansion is 1 plus x raised to n. This is your binomial expansion. And they are saying that the coefficients of 3 consecutive terms are in the ratio 5 is to 10 is to 14. So let's say 3 consecutive coefficients are NCR, NCR minus 1. Let me take NCR minus 1, NCR and NCR plus 1. Let me take it as NCR plus 1 and NCR minus 1. So suppose 3 consecutive binomial coefficients are NCR minus 1, NCR and NCR plus 1. And they are saying that the ratio of these 3 consecutive binomial coefficients, if I take the ratio of these 3 consecutive binomial coefficients, so they are in the ratio 5, 10, 14. 5, 10, 14. Now if I take the ratio of first two, NCR over NCR minus 1. So this ratio will be 10 over 5, which is 2. And there is a direct formula, NCR over NCR minus 1. It can be written as N minus R plus 1 over R. N minus R plus 1 over R. And this is 2. So this gives you N is equal to 3R minus 1. Now if I take the ratio of next two means if I take the ratio of NCR plus 1 over NCR. If I take the ratio of next to NCR plus 1 over NCR, the ratio of next to is 14 by 10. 14 by 10 means 7 by 5. So again use the same formula. When you have written NCR over NCR minus 1, it is N minus R plus 1 over R. But now you are taking NCR plus 1 over NCR. So simply R will be replaced by R plus 1. So same formula you will use, but R will be replaced by R plus 1. And this is 7 by 5. So from here you are getting what? You are getting 5N minus 5R is 7R plus 7. So ultimately N is what? N is 12R plus 7 by 5. N is 7R plus 7, 5N minus 5R, 12R plus 7. So now if I equate these two values of N, one value of N is here, other value is here, let's equate. So if I equate these two values, so 3R minus 1 is 12R plus 7 by 5. So this is what? This is 15R minus 3, 12R plus 7. Now minus 5, no, I have written minus 3. 15r minus 5. 15r minus 5 is 12r plus 7. So this will give you 3r is equal to 12, r is equal to 4. R is 4 here. 3r, 12, r 4. And when r is 4, so n will be what? N will be 11. Capital N. So now you can say that this binomial expansion is now 1 plus x raised to 11. So you can say this binomial expansion is 1 plus x raised to 11 now. And you need the largest coefficient. So obviously the middle term has the largest binomial coefficient. The middle term has the largest binomial coefficient. And when you write from 11C0 till 11C11, if you write from 11C0, total 12 terms are there, 11C0 to 11C11. So in the middle, you will get 11C5 and 11C6. In the middle, you will get 11C5 and 11C6. Both will give you the same value. Whether you take 11C5 or you take 11C6, both will be same. So hence the largest coefficient is 11C5, or you write 11C6. Both will give you the same value. So just calculate the value of 11C5 or 11C6. That will be your final answer. So this 11C5 comes out to be 462. So hence 462 will be the correct answer here. Okay, see this question. This is from 3 dimension. 2 lines are given to you, and the shortest distance between these 2 lines is also given, 1 by root 38. So what is the integral value of lambda here? 2 lines given, shortest distance between these 2 lines is given, 1 by root 38. What will be lambda here, right? But before that, before I write the shortest distance, let me write both lines in a standard form. So if I divide this first equation by 6, so this first line is what? Let me call the first line as L1. So this first line is x minus 1 by 2, y minus 2 by 3. I'm dividing by 6 now. I'm dividing by 6. So this line will become x minus 1 by 2, y minus 2 by 1, z minus 1 by 3. This is the first line. Just divide by 6, so you will get 2 here, you will get 1 here, you will get 3 here. Now what is the second line? Let me call this second line as L2. So if I divide by 4 here, so this is x minus 2 by 1, y minus lambda by 2, z minus 3 by 4. Just divide by 4. So x minus 2 over 1, y minus lambda over 2, z minus 3 over 4. Now I have to find the shortest distance between these 2 lines. So let's say A1 is the point on the first line, which is 1, 2, 1. A2 is the point on the second line, which is 2, lambda, 3. B1 is a vector along the first line, which is 2, 1, 3. B2 is a vector along the second line, which is 1, 2, 4. So not to get the shortest distance between these 2 lines, the shortest distance formula is A1 minus A2 dot B1 cross B2 in the numerator, and in the denominator mod B1 cross B2. So I need A1 minus A2 or A2 minus A1, it doesn't matter. You write A2 minus A1 or you write A1 minus A2, both are same thing. Means there will be no change in the final answer. So 2 minus 1, it is 1. Lambda minus 2, 3 minus 1, it is 2. 2 minus 1, lambda minus 2, and 3 minus 1. Now let's take B1 cross B2. So B1 cross B2 is what? I, J, K. 2, 1, 3 and 1, 2, 4. Now take the cross product, so you will get 4 minus 6 minus 2i, 4 minus 6. Then you are getting 8 minus 3 minus 5j, and finally you are getting 4 minus 1, which is 3k. Now what is the shortest distance? shortest distance is A2 minus A1 dot B1 cross B2 over mod B1 cross B2. And of course, the absolute value of this. The shortest distance is given here, 1 over root 38. Now, if I take the cross product of A2 minus A1 and B1 cross B2, just take the cross product of A2 minus A1 and, sorry, dot product of A2 minus A1 and B1 cross B2. So you will get what? You will get minus 2, minus 5 lambda plus 10 and plus 6. Minus 2 into 1, minus 5 into lambda minus 2, to minus 5 lambda plus 10 plus 6. And divided by mod B1 cross B2. Mod B1 cross B2 is 4 plus 25 plus 9 root 38 only. And mod value. So this is equal to 1 by root 38. So this root 38 disappears. Now you are getting what? 10 and 6, 16 minus 2, 14 minus 5 lambda is equal to 1. So ultimately 14 minus 5 lambda is plus minus 1. So this will give you 5 lambda is equal to 15 and 13. So lambda will be 3 or 13 by 5. But they are saying that lambda is an integer. You need integral value of lambda. So hence 3 will be the correct answer. Integral value of lambda is 3 here. Now see this question. You have to find the value of lambda for which this system, lambda and mu both in fact, for which this system has no solution, right? So what I will do, I will convert this equation from 3 variables to 2 variables. So if I multiply the first equation, by 3 and subtract it from the second equation, multiply the first equation by 3 and subtract it from the second equation. So 3x will be cancelled. 5y minus 3y is 2y. And 5z minus 3z is 2z. And then you are getting 26 minus 18. 26 minus 18 is 26 minus 18 is 8. What I have done, I have multiplied the first equation by 3 and subtracted it from the second equation. So 3x disappears. 5y minus 3y 2y. 5z minus 3z 2z. 26 minus 18 8. Or you can also write it as x plus y is equal to 4. Sorry, y plus z. Y plus z is equal to 4. Similarly, if I multiply the third equation by 3 and subtract it from the second equation again, multiply the third equation by 3 and subtract it from the second equation. So again 3x disappears. 5y minus 6y is minus y. 5z minus 3 lambda z. So 5 minus 3 lambda z. And on the right side you will get 26 minus 3 mu. 26 minus 3 mu. What I have done, I have multiplied the third equation by 3 and subtract it from the second equation. So 3x disappears. 5y minus 6y is minus y. 5z minus 3 lambda z. So 5 minus 3 lambda z and 26 minus 3. And since this system has no solution, so you can write 1 over minus 1 is equal to 1 over 5 minus 3 lambda, but not equal to 4 over 26 minus 3 mu. So you are getting what? You are getting 5 minus 3 lambda minus 1, 3 lambda 6, so lambda 2. And you have only one option which shows lambda is equal to 2, means D option is correct. But still, let's solve first and last. So you will get 26 minus 3 mu 26 minus 3 mu not equal to minus 4. So hence 3 mu not equal to 30. So mu not equal to 10. Means option D is the correct option here. See this question. This is from probability. Out of 11 consecutive natural numbers, if 3 numbers are selected at random without repetition, what is the probability that they are in AP? So let's say 11 consecutive natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now you have selected 3 natural numbers from these 11 natural numbers. So what is the total number of cases? Without any restriction, it is 11C3. This is total number of cases. And what is the favorable number of cases? So they are saying that, let's say 3 selected numbers are A, B, C. So they are saying that these 3 selected numbers A, B, C must be in AP. So hence A plus C must be 2B. And hence A plus C must be even. And since A plus C is even, so ultimately both A and C should be even, or both A and C should be odd. And as soon as you select A and C, B will be automatically selected because B is basically A plus C by 2. So let's say you have selected A is equal to 1, C is equal to 5. So then automatically B will be 3. No need to select B. B will be automatically selected. B will be the arithmetic mean of A and C. So I have to select only 2 numbers now, A and C. And these 2 numbers should be both even or both odd. Why I'm not selecting B? Because as soon as I select A and C, B will get selected automatically. B will be A plus C by 2. So what is the favorable number of ways? I have to choose 2 numbers A and C such that both even and both odd. And see, in 11 natural numbers, you have 6 odd natural numbers. 6 odd natural numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. And 5 even natural numbers. So that means you are selecting both the numbers A and C from odd or 6C2, or you are selecting both the natural numbers A and C from even 5C2. So hence your probability is what? Your probability is 6C2 plus 5C2 over 11C2. This will be your final answer. So just calculate 6C2 plus 5C2 over 11C2. You will get your final answer as 5 by 33. Now see this question. This is from quadratic equations. And the value of lambda you have to find such that the sum of squares of the roots of this quadratic equation has the least value. So let's say roots are alpha, beta. Let's say roots are alpha, beta. So what they are saying is sum of squares of the roots should be minimum. Means alpha square plus beta square should be minimum. So let's find alpha square plus beta square. So alpha square plus beta square can be written as alpha plus beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta. And alpha plus beta is sum of roots, which is lambda minus 3. So it is lambda minus 3 whole square. Alpha beta is product of roots, which is 2 minus lambda. You can easily check sum of roots is lambda minus 3, product of roots is 2 minus lambda. So now when you simplify it, you are getting lambda square minus 6 lambda and plus 2 lambda. So minus 4 lambda. And then 9 minus 4. 9 minus 4 is plus 5. Or you can write it as lambda minus 2 whole square plus 1. So obviously it is minimum when lambda is 2 because square cannot be negative. So minimum value of the square will be 0 and this square is 0 when lambda is 2. So hence alpha square plus beta square is minimum when lambda is 2. So correct answer will be 2 here, which is option D. Okay, see this question. You are given a circle S1 with center at origin, radius 3. Another circle S2 with center at 2, 0, radius 1. And and a variable circle is which touches S1 internally and S2 externally. So then the locus of the center of this variable circle passes through which of the four given points. So I have a circle, a large circle with center at origin radius 3. So let's say this is the circle. Let's say this is the circle having center at origin radius 3. Then we have another circle whose center is 2, 0, radius is 1. Center is 2, 0, radius is 1. And this circle with center at 2, 0, radius 1, in fact, both these circles will be touching each other internally. Actually, see, the center of the first circle is origin. The center of the first circle is origin. Radius is 3. So obviously, this point is 3, 0. And the second circle has center at 2, 0 here and radius 1. And radius 1. So this second circle will touch this circle internally. So you have a second circle here which touches this circle internally. Like this. This is the second circle whose center is 2, 0 here, radius is 1. Now we have a third circle which is touching S1 internally and S2 externally. So let's say this is a third circle. This is a third circle which is touching S1 let's say this is the third circle which is touching S1 internally and S2 externally. So what will be the locus of the center of this third circle? So first get the locus of the center of this third circle. So this center is what? 2, 0. And let's say this center is P here, whose locus I have to find. So now you can clearly see that if I find this distance, let's say this center is A. If I find this distance AP or PA, let's say the radius of the variable circle is R. Let's say the radius of the variable circle is R. So PA will be what? R plus 1. The smaller circle has radius 1. So PA will be R plus 1. And what will be this OP? Since these two circles touch each other internally, so then the distance between the centers will be difference of the radii. So this is 3 minus R. This is 3 minus. Obviously, OP will be 3 minus R. 3 is this distance. Larger radius 3, smaller radius R. So 3 minus R. So if I take the sum of these two distances, PA plus PO, so that will be 4. PA plus PO is 4. So you can say that this variable point P is moving in such a way that the sum of its distances from two fixed points A and O is origin. So the variable point P is moving in such a way that the sum of its distances from two fixed points A and O is a constant 4. So hence the locus of P is an ellipse. Locus of P is an ellipse, and the foci of this ellipse are origin and 2, 0. And the length of major axis of this ellipse is 4. Whenever a point moves in such a way that the sum of its distances from two fixed points remains constant, then the locus of the moving point is an ellipse. The two fixed points are the foci of the ellipse, and the length of major axis is this constant sum. Obviously, this constant sum must be greater than the distance between the fixed points. So now I know that the locus of P is an ellipse. Now I know that the locus of P is an ellipse. Something like this. This is locus of P. And the two foci of this ellipse are origin and 2, 0. One focus at origin, one focus at 2, 0. So this focus is 2, 0. So obviously center of this ellipse is 1, 0. And now you can say that the distance between foci is 2 and distance between foci will be 2a. The 2a is 2. Distance between foci is 2, which is 2a. A is 1. A is 1. And you can see A is 2 here. So E will be half. Now you can find B. B square will be A square 1 minus E square. So it is 4. 1 minus 1 by 4. So it is 3. Hence your ellipse can be written as ellipse has center at 1, 0. It is horizontal ellipse. And A square 4, B square 3. So your ellipse is x minus 1 whole square by 4. Y minus 0 whole square by 3 is equal to. This is the ellipse. And just check out of these 4 given points, which point satisfies the ellipse. Which point satisfies the ellipse. So let's check. If I put half comma, just check one by one which point satisfies. So you will see that 2 comma plus minus 3 by 2 actually satisfies this ellipse. 2 comma plus minus. Just check one by one and see which one satisfies. So you will see that 2 comma plus minus 3 by 2 satisfies the ellipse. Okay, see this question. This is from complex numbers, right? Omega is a complex number which is 1 minus root 3 iota. Mod z omega is 1. Argument z minus argument omega is pi by 2. Argument z minus argument omega is pi by 2. So then the area of the triangle with vertices origin z and omega. Area of the triangle with vertices origin z and omega. So see, if you check the modulus of omega, the modulus of omega is 2. And they have given mod z omega 1. Mod z omega is mod z into mod omega. It is 1. Mod omega 2. So now you can say mod z is half. So that means you can say that the distance of omega from the origin is 2 and distance of z from the origin is half. And since argument of z minus argument of omega is pi by 2, or you can say the argument of z is pi by 2 more than argument of omega. So that means z will be obtained when you rotate omega through an angle of pi by 2. Means angle at origin will be pi by 2. So basically these 3 points are forming a right triangle. This is origin. This is omega. The distance between origin and omega is 2. The distance between origin and z, this is z, is half. And since argument of z is pi by 2 more than argument of omega, so this angle is 90 degree. This angle here is 90 degree. Argument of z is pi by 2 more than argument of omega. So the angle will be pi by 2. So obviously this triangle is a right triangle here. And since it's a right triangle, the area will be what? Half base into altitude. Of course, base is 2, altitude is half. So area will be half. Area will be what? Yes, half. So area will be half only. Option B is the correct option, right? Okay, see this question. This is from hyperbola. The eccentricity of the hyperbola, whose length of lateral sectum is equal to 8, and the length of its conjugate axis is equal to half of the distance between foci. You have to find the eccentricity. So what they have given? Length of the conjugate axis. Length of the conjugate axis is 2b. It is equal to half of the distance between foci. Half of the distance between foci. Distance between foci is 2a. So you are getting 2b is equal to a. Now if I do squaring, so 4b square is a square e square. Now b square can be written as a square e square minus 1. So it is a square e square. A square disappears. So you are getting 4e square minus 4 is equal to e square. So hence e square is 4 by 3. So hence eccentricity will be 2 by root 3. Option C. Actually, in this question, they have given two conditions. Length of lateral septum 8 and length of conjugate axis is equal to half of the distance between foci. But no need to use both condition. Only one condition can give you the correct answer. Even if you use only the first condition, you will get the same answer. So one extra condition is given in this question. Okay, see this question. This is from matrices. A is a given matrix of 2 by 2. A transpose is I. What will be alpha 4 plus beta 4? So let's multiply A with A transpose. So A is 1 minus alpha beta. And its transpose is what? Its transpose is 1 minus alpha beta. First row becomes first column, second row becomes second, and this is equal to I2. I2 means identity matrix 1 0 0 1. So if I multiply first row with first column, so I'm getting 1 plus alpha square 1. If I multiply first row with second column, or if I multiply second row with second column, so I will get alpha square plus beta square. This is also 1. Second row with second column, alpha square. So alpha square is 0, beta square is 1. And hence alpha 4 plus beta 4 is 1. 0 plus 1. So 1 will be the correct answer, which is option B. Okay, see this question. This is from trigonometry. Cos x plus cos y minus cos of x plus y is 3 by 2. And x and y both lie between 0 and pi. So what will be sin x plus cos y? Right? So what you can do here, let's use cos c plus cos d formula here. Cos c plus cos d, cos x plus cos y is 2 cos x plus y by 2 cos x minus y by 2. And this cos x plus y, it can be written as 2 cos square x plus y by 2 minus 1. This is 3 by 2. Now if I cross multiply 2 and rearrange it, so I will get 4 cos square x plus y by 2 minus 4 cos x plus y by 2 cos x minus y by 2. And then I'm getting what? 4 cos square x plus y by 2 minus 4. Here it is minus plus 1. So, and it is taken to the right side. So 3 plus 2 plus 1 actually it is. Is it right? 4 cos square x plus y by 2. Then taken to the right. So minus 4 cos x plus y by 2 cos x minus y by 2. Correct? Then 3 and this plus 2. Yes, it is correct. Now if I form a perfect square here, so I can write 2 cos x plus y by 2 minus 1 whole square. Now if I expand this 2 cos x plus y by 2 minus 1, I will get 4 cos square x plus y by 2 minus this. Not minus 1. Cos x minus y by 2. And then 1 minus cos square x minus y by 2. So it can be written like this if you form a perfect square. 4 cos square x plus y by 2 minus 4 cos x plus y by 2 cos x minus y by 2. And this finally, this is what? This is 2 cos x plus y by 2 cos x minus y by 2 whole square plus sin square x minus y by 2. Now sum of two perfect square is 0. Sum of two perfect square is 0. Perfect square cannot be negative. The sum of two perfect square is 0 only when both these perfect square are 0. So that means you can say that it is 2 cos x plus y by 2 must be cos x minus y by 2. And this sin x minus y by 2 must be 0. and x and y lies between 0 and pi, so they must be equal. They must be equal. Now if you put x is equal to y here, so you will get 2 cos x is equal to 1. So hence x and y both should be pi by 3. Now what they are asking? They are asking sine x plus cos y. So sine 60 degree root 3 by 2, cos 60 degree 1 by 2. So this should be the correct answer. Root 3 plus 1 by 2, which is the first option. A option is the correct option here. Okay, see this question. This is from differential equation. A differential equation is given to you, dy by dx is equal to 1 plus x e raised to y minus x. y0 is 0. Then what will be the minimum value of the function yx in the interval minus root 2 to root 2. So you have to get the minimum value of this function yx, right? So see, this equation can be written as, if I rearrange this equation, I can write it as dy minus dx, dy minus dx, or in fact let's substitute y minus x as t first and see what happens. If I substitute y minus x as t here, so I will get dy by dx minus 1 as dt by dx. So hence this differential equation becomes dt by dx is equal to x e raised to t. And now it is variable separable. It can be written as e raised to minus t dt is x dx. Let's integrate. E raised to minus t dt x dx. Now integration is what? Minus e raised to minus t x square by 2 plus c. So you are getting what? And t is what? T is y minus x. So it becomes minus e raised to minus y minus x, means x minus y is x square by 2 plus c. Now y0 is 0. So this curve is passing through origin. So when you put x0, y0 here, when you put x0, y0 here, so this is minus 1, 0 plus c. So c is minus 1. C is minus 1. So you are getting minus, then you are getting minus e raised to x minus y is x square by 2 minus 1. Or you are getting e raised to x minus y is 1 minus x square by 2. 1 minus x square by 2, or you can say 2 minus x square by 2. So from here you will get y is equal to y is equal to 1 minus log of 2 minus, not 1, x minus. You will get y is equal to x minus log 2 minus x square by 2. And they have given x between minus root 2 and root 2 only. So now you have to get the minimum value of this function in the interval minus root 2 to root 2. So to get the minimum value, if I differentiate this one, let's differentiate this one. So you will get 1. Derivative of this log 2 minus x square by 2 is 1 over 2 minus x square by 2. Then chain rule. Derivative of 2 minus x square by 2 is 0 minus 2x by 2. Log x, 1 by x, then 0 minus 2x by 2. So you are getting what? 2 and 2 cancel, these 2 and these 2 cancel. So you are getting 1 plus 2x over 2 minus x square. 2x over 2 minus x square. If you put this equal to 0. So you are getting what? You are getting 2 minus x square plus 2x0. Or if you change the sign, so you are getting x square minus 2x minus 20. So x will be what? 2 plus minus under root 4 plus 8 root 12 by 2. So x is 1 plus minus root 3. But 1 plus root 3, so 1 plus root 3 is greater than root 2. 1 plus root 3 is greater than root 2. So in fact, in this interval, you are getting only one critical point, which is 1 minus root 3. So now if you check the sign of this derivative, if you check the sign of that, obviously the minimum value, see what is happening here. Your derivative was this. Derivative was ultimately 1 plus 2x over 2 minus x square. Or you can say 2 minus x square plus 2x over 2 minus x square. Between minus, actually derivative was this. Derivative was dy by dx. 2 minus x square plus 2x over 2 minus x square. This was the derivative. And x is between minus root 2 and root 2. So obviously this denominator is positive. So you have to check the sign of the numerator only. And obviously numerator, since it is a downward parabola, the numerator will be positive between the roots. So between 1 minus root 3 and 1 plus root 3, this derivative will be positive. Here negative, here negative. And you are taking from minus root 2 to plus root 2. You are taking from minus root 2 to plus root 2. So let's say minus root 2 is here and plus root 2 here. So from minus root 2 to 1 minus root 3, derivative is negative. And 1 minus root 3 to minus root 1 minus root 3 to root 2, derivative is positive. Means first graph is going down, then it is going up. First decreasing, then increase. Obviously at 1 minus root 3, you will get the minimum value. So minimum value you will get at 1 minus root 3. So what will be minimum of y? Minimum will be in this function, just put x is equal to 1 minus root 3, you will get the minimum value. You will get the minimum value. The minimum value will be 1 minus root 3 minus log 2 minus 1 minus root 3 whole square by 2. This is the minimum value. Now let's simplify. And if I look at the option, so I can see that only the first option contains 1 minus root 3. And I think it after simplification, this will become root 3 minus 1. Let me say, check. It will be 4. Yes, it will become, in fact, 4 plus 3, 7 minus 1, 6, 4, and 1 plus 3, 4. So 2. In fact, A option should be the correct option if you simplify. So just simplify, you will get the A option. You have to get the sum of all possible values of x satisfying this equation. Sum of all possible values of x satisfying this equation. So let's suppose this tan inverse x plus 1 is A. Cot inverse 1 over x minus 1 is B. And this tan inverse 8 over 31 is, let's say, C. I have taken tan inverse x plus 1 as A, means tan is x plus 1. I have taken cot inverse 1 over x minus 1 as B, means cot B is 1 over x minus 1. And tan inverse 8 over 31 is C, means tan C is 8 over 31. Now if I apply tan here on both sides, so tan of A plus B is tan C. Now tan of A plus B can be written as tan A, which is x plus 1, plus tan B, which is x minus 1, over 1 minus tan A tan B. So x plus 1, x minus 1. And on the right side, it is tan C, which is 8 by 31. So I'm getting 2x over 1 minus x square minus 1, 8 by 31. So I'm getting x over 2 minus x square, 4 by 31. So now this is a quadratic equation. You are getting 31x, 8 minus 4x square. So finally it is 4x square plus 31x minus 80. And I think it can be factorized as 4x square plus 32x minus x minus 8. So its factors, in fact, its factors will be x plus 8 and 4x minus 1. So you are getting two values of x. X will be minus 8 and 1 by 4. But you have to check out of these two values, which one will be taken, means which one satisfies the equation. So see, if you take x is equal to, 1 by 4 here, when you take x is equal to 1 by 4, so then this cot inverse, this quantity will become negative. Tan inverse x plus 1 will be positive. Tan inverse x plus 1 will be positive, means this tan inverse x plus 1 lies in the first quadrant. And this cot inverse 1 over x minus 1 becomes negative when you take it. And cot inverse of negative number lies in the second quadrant. So tan inverse x plus 1 first quadrant, cot inverse 1 by x minus 1, it is second quadrant. So left hand side will be greater than pi by 2 actually. Left hand side will become greater. So when I take x is equal to 1 by 4, left hand side is greater than pi by 2. But obviously tan inverse 8 by 31 will be lying in the first quadrant. Right hand side is less than pi by 2. So hence x is equal to 1 by 4 cannot be taken. X is equal to 1 by 4 cannot be taken. So hence x is equal to minus 8 is the only possibility. If you take x is equal to minus 8, so then this cot inverse again negative, second quadrant, tan inverse is negative. So then this value, net value will be in the first quadrant. So actually x is equal to minus 8 is the only solution. X is equal to minus 8 is the only solution. And they are asking sum of possible values of x. The sum of possible values of x is also minus 8. And this minus 8 is same as minus 32 by 4. So hence A is the correct answer, which is minus 8 in fact. It's a little trickier one. Actually, most of the student will write the answer as minus 31 by 4. But minus 32 by 4, which is minus 8, is the correct answer here. So sides AB, BC, CA of a triangle ABC. Sides AB, BC, CA of a triangle ABC have 3, 5, and 6 interior points. Then the total number of triangles that can be constructed using these points as vertices. So we have a triangle ABC. So on the side AB, we are taking 3 points. 3 points on the side AB, interior points. 5 points on the side BC, and 6 points on the side AC. So how many triangles can be formed by joining these interior points? Means you are not counting ABC here. You are not counting ABC here. You are just counting the interior points. Then the total number of triangles that can be constructed using these points as vertices. So what is the total number of triangles? How many points you have in total? In total, you have 6 plus 5 plus 3, 14 points. The total number of triangles will be 14C3 if all these points are non-collinear. If all these points would have been non-collinear, then the number of triangle will be 14C3. But actually, these 3 points are collinear. And if I choose 3 points from this line, so you will not get a triangle. So this 3C3 will be subtracted. Similarly, if I choose 5 points from this line, any 3 points from these 5 points, if I choose any 3 points from these 5 points, I will not get a triangle. So 5C3 will be subtracted. And if I choose any 3 points from these 6 points, I will not get a triangle. So this 6C3 should also be subtracted. So this will be your final answer simply. 14C3 minus 3C3 minus 5C3 minus 6C3. Just simplify. 333 will be your correct answer here. Okay, see this question. This is based on trigonometry and quadratic equations. Alpha is the maximum of this expression. Beta is the minimum of this expression. And 8x square plus bx plus c is a quadratic whose roots are alpha raised to 1 by 5, beta raised to 1 by 5. Then what will be c minus b? So see, alpha is what? Alpha is maximum of 8 can be written as 2 raised to 3. 4 can be written as 2 raised to 2, and if I multiply, so I will get 2 raised to 6 sine 3x plus 8 cos 3x. So alpha is the maximum of this one and beta is the minimum of this one. 3x, not 2x here. It is alpha is 6 sine 3x plus 8 cos 3x, and beta is minimum of 2 raised to 6 sine 3x plus 8 cos 3x. And you know that any expression of the form a cos theta plus b sin theta is maximum under root a square plus b square and minimum under root minus under root a square plus b square. And in your problem, it is 6 sin 3x, 8 cos 3x. So a is 6, b is 8. So hence under root a square plus b square is 10. So alpha is maximum of this. So alpha will be 2 raised to 10. And beta will be 2 raised to minus 10. Beta will be 2 raised to minus 10. So hence alpha raised to 1 by 5, it is 2 raised to 2, which is 4. And beta is equal to beta raised to 1 by 5 is 2 raised to minus 2, which is 1 by 4. So hence you can say that the roots of this quadratic, are 4 and 1 by 4. The roots are 4 and 1 by 4. So if you take the sum of roots, that will be minus b by a, and product of roots, that will be c by a. So this gives you b is equal to, it is 17 by 4, 8. So it will be minus 34. And c will be what? C will be 8. They are asking c minus b. So c minus b will be 42. So hence 42 should be the correct answer. Means option B is the correct option here. See this question. This is from AMGM. A, B, C, D are positive real numbers. A plus B plus C plus D is 11. And the maximum value of A raised to 5, B raised to 3, C raised to 2, D raised to 1 is 3750 beta. What will be beta here, right? So since I need A raised to 5, B raised to 3, C raised to D raised to 1. So what I will do? I will write A as 5 times A by 5. I will write B as 3 times B by 3. I will write C as 2 times C by 2 and D. So now you can say that you have total 5 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, 11 numbers. 11 numbers, A by 5, 5 times, B by 3, 3 times, C by 2, 2 times, D 1 times. So total 11 numbers. So if you take the arithmetic mean of these 11 numbers, the arithmetic mean will be sum divided by 11. So sum is this divided by, and arithmetic mean is greater than or equal to geometric mean. So geometric mean will be product of these numbers raised to 1 by 11. So A by 5 you are taking 5 times. The product will be A by 5 raised to 5. B by 3 you are taking 3 times. So B by 3 raised to 3. C by 2 you are taking 2 times. C by 2 whole square. And D you are taking only once. Whole raised to 1 by 11. What I have written? I have written AM greater than or equal to GM. You have 11 numbers, 5 times A by 5, 3 times B by 3, C times 2 times C by 2, and D. 11 numbers, arithmetic mean sum over 11, geometric mean product raised to 1 by 11. And this sum is given 11 here. So on the left side, you got 11 by 11. And on the right side, you are getting A raised to 5, B raised to 3, C raised to 2, D raised to 1. Divided by 5 raised to 5, 3 raised to 3, 2 raised to 2. Whole raised to 1 by 11. So hence this gives you a raised to 5, b raised to 3, c raised to 2, d. This is less than or equal to 5 raised to 5, 3 raised to 3, 2 raised to 2. So this is the maximum value of a raised to 5, b raised to 3, c raised to 2, d raised to 1. And they have given the maximum value as 3750 beta. So hence 3750 beta, it should be equal to 5 raised to 5, 3 raised to 3, 2 raised to 2. So beta will be, just divide, take beta will be what? 5 raised to 5, 3 raised to 3, 2 raised to 2 by 3750. And just divide, you will get your final answer. So when you divide here, your final answer will be 90. Okay, see this question. This is from vectors. Angle between A and B is given as pi by 4. Mod A is 2, mod B is 3. So what will be this? Mod, what you have to find? You have to find mod A plus 2B cross 2A minus 3B. So let's take the cross product. You will get what? A cross 2A, which is 0, minus 3 times A cross B, plus 4 times B cross A, and minus 6 times B cross B, which is 0, whole square. And now it is minus 3 times A cross B, minus 4 times A cross B. B cross A can be written as minus A cross B. So this is 7 times mod A cross B. In fact, you are getting minus 7 times A cross B inside the mod. But since you are taking mod to minus 7 or plus 7, it doesn't matter. And mod of A, in fact, you have a square also here. You have a square also here. So mod A cross B is what? AB sine theta. So it is 7 square, 49. Then mod A cross B, AB sine theta. So mod A is 2. Mod B is 3. Sine 45 degrees, 1 by root 2. This is the square. Mod A 3. Mod A 2, in fact, mod A 2, mod B 3. Sine theta, sine 45, 1 by root 2. So you are getting what? 49. And here it is what? 3 root 2 square. 3 root 2 square is 18. So 49 into 18 will be the correct answer. And 49 into 18, actually 50 into 18 will be 900. So it is 900 minus 18. So 882 will be the correct answer. So B is the correct answer here. Option B will be correct. See this question. This is from inverse trigonometric function GIF, and you have to get the domain of the function. They are saying that at which point this function will be defined. So your function is basically what? Your function is cosecant inverse x over under root x minus integral part of x, and x minus integral part of x is fractional part of x. So obviously x cannot be integer here. X can't be integer. Why x cannot be integer? Because if I take x integer, so then denominator will become 0. Fractional part of an integer is 0. So the function is not defined when x is an integer. One more thing, cosecant inverse x is not defined between minus 1 and 1. Cosecant inverse x is not defined between minus 1 and 1. So hence x should not lie in the interval minus 1 to 1. In fact, 1 and minus 1 should also not, minus 1 and 1 is also not there in the domain, because at 1 and minus 1 at integral point function is not defined. So hence you can say that your function is defined for all real numbers except integers and except this interval. Your function is defined for all non-integral points except this interval. So this is the correct answer. The function is defined for all non-integral points except the interval minus 1 to 1. Between minus 1 and 1, actually cosecant inverse is not defined. See this question from statistics. So they are saying that we have 2n observations and half of these observations are A. So we have A. We have A how many times? N times. We have N times A. And half of these observations are minus A, minus A, minus A, minus A. It is also N times. This is also N times. Right. So half of these observations are A and remaining half are minus A. Now, if we increase each observation by a constant B, if I increase each observation by a constant B, so then the mean and standard deviation of the new set of observations becomes 5 and 12. Right. So what is the current mean? If I check the current mean, so mean will be what? Sigma x, sum of the observations divided by number of observation, and number of observation is 2n here. You have actually total 2n observation. And obviously, if you add all these observations, so A is n times and minus A is also n times. The sum will be 0. So current mean will be 0. Now, since you are increasing each observation by B, the new mean will be 0 plus B. When you increase each observation by B, so then mean also gets increased by B. The new mean will be 0 plus B. And the new mean they have given 5. They have given 5. So hence B must be 5. B must be 5. Now, when you increase each observation by a constant B, so then there will be no change in the variance. In fact, variance does not change if you increase each observation by the same quantity. So the current variance and the new variance, both will be 20 only. Both will be 20 only. Now, what will be the current variance? In fact, it's a standard deviation, not variance. My bad. It is a standard deviation. So, in fact, a standard deviation also does not change when you increase each observation by a constant quantity. So, current standard deviation and the new standard deviation both will be 20 only. And since the standard deviation is 20, so variance will be 400. Variance is the square of the standard deviation. So that will be 400. So now what will be the variance? Variance will be sigma x square by 2n minus the square of the mean. I am writing the original variance, current variance. Original variance will be sigma x square by 2n minus the square of the mean. And it should be 400. It should be 400. In fact, original variance and new variance both should be same. Now what is sigma x square? So you are adding a square n times, so n a square. Then you are adding minus a square minus a square minus a square is, in fact, minus a whole square is also a square. So minus a whole square minus a whole square minus a square again n times. So again n a square by 2n. This is 400. 2n cancel. So a square is 400. And hence a square is 20. What they are asking? They are asking a square plus b square. So a square is 20. B square is 25. Am I doing some mistake? Current mean is 0. That is correct. So A plus B is 0 plus B is 5. That is 5. B will be 5. Okay. Now the current variance will be sigma x square. Number of observation is 2n. 0. Standard deviation is 20. Standard deviation is 20. The variance will be 400. So I'm getting here 2n a square. I'm getting 2n a square. The 2n cancel. A square is 400. So a square will be 20. A square plus b square is a square plus b square is 20 plus 25. I'm getting 45. Why I'm getting 45? Let me check what mistake they are doing. I think I'm doing a mistake. My mistake. Actually, it's my mistake. A square is 400 only. No, why I have written a square 20? A square is 400, and I need a square only. So my mistake. A square is 400, and b square is 25. So it is 425. Means option D is the correct answer. I think my mind is getting tired. See this question. In a batch of 120 students, 25% like at least two subjects out of physics, chemistry, and maths. 15% like all the three subjects. If the number of students liking exactly one of the subjects is 50, then the number of students liking no subject is at most. So what they are saying, let's say this is the Venn diagram. This is the universal set. And this universal set contains how many students? It contains 120 students, this universal set. Now we are taking three sets, physics, chemistry, and maths. Let's say this is physics. This is chemistry. And this one is maths. So they are saying that 15% like all three subjects. 15% like all three subjects. So all three is 15%. 15% of 120. 15% of 120. So 15% like all three. So it is what? It is 0. So ultimately it is 15, means 3 by 2 into 12. So 18. Right? So here we have 18. All three. All three we have 18 here. 18 here. And let's say A here, who like both physics and chemistry. B here, who like both physics and maths. And C here, who like both chemistry and maths. Only physics is, let's say, P. Only chemistry is, let's say, C. Only mathematics is, let's say, M. And neither, let's say, neither is N. Who like neither physics nor chemistry nor mathematics. So now let's look at all the conditions given. 20% like at least two subjects. 20% like at least two subjects. 15% like all three subjects. And if the number of students liking exactly one of the subject means P plus C plus M. Sorry, I've written C 2 times, my bad. I've written C actually 2 times. Here I have to write something different for chemistry. So physics is P, mathematics is M. Let's say chemistry is H here. H. So exactly one subject P plus H plus M. It is 50. P plus H plus M is 50. One more thing they have given. At least two subjects. At least two subject means A plus B plus C plus 18. This is greater than or equal to 25%. 25% of 120. So this will give you A plus B plus C greater than or equal to, this will give you A plus B plus C greater than or equal to, in fact 25% of 120 will be what? 30. 30 minus 18, 12. So A plus B plus C is greater than or equal to 20. Right. And what is this A plus B plus C? What is this A plus B plus C? They are saying that then number of students liking no subject is at most. N you have to find at most. Right. Now we know that the total is what? Total is 120. Means if I add P plus M plus H, then A plus B plus C plus 18 plus N. So it is 120 total. Total number of students is 120. P plus M plus H. Then A plus B plus C plus M. A plus B plus C plus 18 plus N. Now this P plus M plus H is 50. P plus M plus H is 50. A plus B plus C, let's keep it as it is, plus 18. N, let's keep it as it is, 120. So from here you will get what? You will get a plus b plus c. You will get a plus b plus c. What? You will get a 120 minus 50, 70, and 70 minus 18. 70 minus 18 is what? 52. So 52 minus a. So you are getting a plus b plus c is 52 minus n, right? And it must be greater than or equal to 12. Here you have already written k plus b plus c is greater than or equal to 12. So this gives you 40 must be greater than or equal to n. So hence n will be at most 40. So the number of students liking no subject is at most 40 here. Means A option should be the correct option. Okay, see this question. This is from an ellipse. The foci of an ellipse passes through the origin. The foci of an ellipse passing through the origin are 2, 8 and 5, 12. So you have an ellipse here. So let's say this is your ellipse. And this ellipse is passing through the origin. Let's say origin is on the ellipse. And the two foci of the ellipse, let's say S1, S2, are 2, 8 and 5, 12. These are the foci of the ellipse. So then they are asking the length of minor axis of the ellipse. So you know that if I take the sum of focal distances of any point on an ellipse, so the sum of focal distance is always equal to 2a, length of major axis. So if I find OS1 plus OS2, the sum of focal distances of origin from the two foci, so this will be 2a. OS1 is what? OS1 is under root 4 plus 64, root 68. OS2 is root 169. It is 2a. So this gives you 2a is equal to 2 root 17 plus 13. Now also if I find the focal distance between the two foci, S1, S2, distance between the two foci, that will be 5 minus 2 whole square, 9, 12 minus 8 whole square, which is 16. So it is 25. Under root 25 is 5. And distance between two foci will be 2AE. So 2AE is 5. 2AE is 5 here. So this will give you, okay. Now I need the length of minor axis. I need the length of minor axis. So I know that the B square will be A square 1 minus E square. B square is A square 1 minus E square. So this will be what? A square minus A square E square. Since I need the length of minor axis, so let's find 2B whole square. That will be easy actually. That will be easy. If I find 2B whole square, so that will be 4B square, and that will be 4A square 1 minus E square. And 4A square can be written as 2A whole square, and 4A square E square can be written as 4A square E square can be written as 2AE whole square. So now 2A whole square is what? 2 root 17 plus 13 whole square minus 4A square E square is what? 25. Now let's simplify. So you are getting what? You are getting here 4 into 17, 68 plus 13 square 169, then 52 root 17 and minus 25. Minus 25. So you are getting what? 169 minus 25. So you are getting 68. 169 minus 25. So 144 plus 52 root 17. if I take 4 common here, so 4 if I take common, so it is 36 plus 17, 53 plus 13 root 17. This is 2b whole square. So hence 2b will be what? 2 times under root 53 plus 13 root 17. So this is the length of minor axis. Length of minor axis is 2 times under root 53 plus 13 root 17, which is A option, right? Okay, let's wrap up this video, guys. See you in the next video. Bye bye. Take care. God bless you all. See you in the next video.